The stage is set. After clinching the SWAC championship,
the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats are the 2025 SWAC baseball champions!
The Bethune-Cookman Wildcats are playing in the NCAA Tallahassee Regional. Now the Wildcats are ready to take on college baseball's elite, Florida State, Northeastern, and Mississippi State in a battle for a spot in the Super Regionals. Wildcats, it's game time at Dick Howser Stadium in Tallahassee. Catch every pitch, every hit, every heart-stopping moment. Live with the voice of the Wildcats, Mike Torello and Bryce Hornowski. Only on the CatEye Radio Network.
Well, live from Mike Martin Field at Dick Howser Stadium in beautiful Tallahassee, Florida. No chance of rain today, just blue skies, fluffy clouds, and baseball action here on the CatEye Radio Network. It's an elimination Saturday after the Wildcats fell to Florida State last night, 6-2 after out-hitting them, but going 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. They now get a tough test with their season on the line in the 48-10 Northeastern Huskies. I sat down with Coach Johnny Hernandez before the game to discuss all things BCU baseball in today's matchup against Northeastern. I'm here with Coach Hernandez before the Wildcats take on Northeastern in the lower bracket of the NCAA Regional. Coach, talk about last night against Florida State. Long rain delay, and it was really that one inning right after you came back that did you in.
Yeah, I think that the rain delay definitely killed our momentum, right? We had just came back from scoring 2 runs off a George Rodriguez single after a double steal. So, you know what? It happens, but Mike, you know we're not going to put any excuses, right? We had opportunities. We left too many guys on. I think we went 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. I know we're going to be better and just excited about the opportunity today to play another game.
Talk about Northeastern, right? One of the best pitching teams in the country, lead the league in ERA. Well, lead the nation, in ERA. What's the plan of attack on the offensive side?
The same thing that we're doing, man. We're going to face a really good lefty on the mound today. We just got to stay in the oppo gap, and then when the opportunities present themselves, we have to take advantage of them. So, Northeastern's a really good team. At one point, obviously before last night, the loss to Mississippi State, they won 26 or 27 games in a row. The CAA is a really good conference, and we're looking forward to, again, right, just kind of expose people to our brand of baseball and an opportunity for us to represent the SWAC today.
On the defensive side, Edwin Sanchez goes today on the mound after getting yesterday off. What do you expect from him today?
The same thing that he's been, right? He's been a big game pitcher for us the last couple of weeks. So just looking for Edwin just to give us some length. And he's got to get ahead. This is a team that we got to try and keep off the bases. I think they've stole, 200 stolen bases on the year. So it's a really good aggressive base running team. And we just got to neutralize that with Edwin on the mound.
Last one, Coach. You want to go home today?
Negative. All right. I need all the Hail Wildcat Nation to support us, whether you're watching on TV or here at Florida State. We need you guys. Just have belief, and our guys are going to put the best foot forward today. Hail Wildcats.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
You got it.
Once again, the Northeastern Huskies, not Wildcats. We're the Wildcats. They're the Huskies. It's cats and dogs here at the stadium today are the opponents. They're 48-10. And as Coach said, before last night's loss to Mississippi State had won 27 in a row. That leads the nation in that category in Division I. Their best foot forward is their pitching, and we'll get it with Jordan Gottesman today. A 2.30 ERA, 9-2 with a 180 batting average against, and everybody, starters, bullpen, wearing red and black, is going to be dangerous. You cannot do the SWAC thing where you get to the bullpen and dominate. That's not going to happen today.
And, it tells you a lot about the strength of this regional, right? You get handed one of the best teams in the country in Florida State. You drop that one, understandably so, and you say, hey, here you go. Here's a team that won 48 baseball games this year. That is unbelievable. It's been an incredible season for Northeastern, and they're going to be as hungry as you are coming out of this game because you think about it, they rode in that, 27-game winning streak into yesterday. They finally dropped that to another very good team in Mississippi State. They're going to be gunning to get right back up to that bracket because they're a team that feels like they belong here. Well, fortunately for us, the Wildcats are also a team that feel like they belong here, and they feel like they had Florida State many times on the ropes last night. I expect the offense to pick up where it left off. Frankly, it's going to have to if you want any chance against this Northeastern team.
One wrinkle today, the Wildcats, they are the 4 seed in this regional, but they are the home team today, batting second out of the first base dugout. when you told me that this morning, I was flabbergasted. Like, that shouldn't be how it is, but yet here we go.
Yeah, it's first regionals for all of us, right? Even Coach Hernandez, I was sitting with him in the hotel lobby last night when he got the call from the regional staff down here, and he told him, he said, guys, I didn't even bring white pants. I didn't know that we could be the home team in this thing, but it's just a wrinkle for these regionals. If one team had a shot to be the home team, in this case Northeastern, and BCU does not, you drop to that lower bracket, then they do flip it. It's a little bit of an odd thing there, but it's part of these regionals, man.
The Wildcats take the field for the top of the first. Edwin Sanchez will be on the mound after sitting yesterday out. His 3.09 ERA and 8-1 record is tops both on the team and in the SWAC. 16 games, 1 complete game, 75 innings pitched, at 293 batting average against for Edwin Sanchez. He's allowed 32 runs on 73 hits, 26 earned, striking out 94, and walking 31. And he's going to have to be as good, if not better, than he was in the SWAC title game against Florida A&M 7 days ago.
I think a key for Sanchez is going to be to pitch with that same level of swagger that we saw in that SWAC championship game, right? He came out firing, racked up the strikeouts really early in that game, and you could see the intensity, you could see the fire. He's a guy that doesn't often get swayed left or right, doesn't often play with that emotion on his sleeve a ton, but we saw it there, and I think we're going to need to see it again today.
For potentially the final time this season, we say hello to the booth cam on the CatEye Network on YouTube. We're also live on 1380 WELA Daytona Beach. We're getting you set for Wildcats against Northeastern Huskies in an elimination game here at Dick Howser Stadium in Tallahassee on the campus of Florida State University. Bryce mentioned it. We didn't even bring white pants, so we're in the maroon caps, maroon jerseys, gold Wildcat script on the front, gold numbers with a white trim, gray pants with maroon pinstripes. Northeastern in black caps with a red bill, red uniforms, black numbers with white trim, and white pants with a black pinstripe and black belts. And out of the dugout steps Ryan Garrity, the sophomore, batting .286. And here we go. As a stark contrast to almost everybody hitting over 300 yesterday for Florida State, only 3 guys in this Northeastern starting lineup hit over 300. And the kind of game that Bethune-Cookman's going to have to win today is low-scoring, grinded-out, defensive pitching battle.
Kind of similar to what some of them had to be in that SWAC championship game, right? Maybe not quite as buttoned up as it's going to see today, but they learned to win that way.
First pitch is a strike down Broadway at 1:06 p.m. And it's 1-0 to Garrity from Edwin Sanchez. Lefty to lefty matchup. Defense for the Wildcats is the same as it was yesterday. Andre Martinez at third, Jeter Poyeto at short, Jesus Venegas at second, Jorge Rodriguez at first. Irvin Escobar behind the plate, Darrell Lee at left, Daniel Figueroa in center, and Sergio Rivera in right. Here's the pitch. It's a high fly ball into left center field. That is going back, and it is off the wall on a hop. Headed to second is Garrity. He's going to head towards third before stopping and going back to second. So a leadoff double for Northeastern.
Very aggressive base running, something Coach Hernandez hinted to in that pregame with you, Mike, as you even see there, Garrity really might have had a shot to get out there if there was a little bit better communication from the Wildcats defense to relay that one over to second. Poyeto was ready to come up firing to third. If he had jumped right on the second base bag, there's maybe a shot you can get that out there.
So now runner on second, nobody out. Here's Cam Maldonado, one of the 3 Northeastern Huskies in the starting lineup batting over 300. He's a junior batting .366. The right-hand hitter at the first pitch from Sanchez is outside, ball 1. Look out for the steals from Northeastern. They're second in the nation in steals with 192 on the year, second only to Virginia Military's 209. The 1-0 is a curveball swing and a miss from Maldonado. And looking at the stats, Bryce, it's very clear how this team wins games. It's get on, get over, get in, get a couple of runs, and let the pitching do the rest with a team ERA of 2.92. Fastball low and inside, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike on Maldonado. Ryan Garrity on second after his leadoff double. Pitch from Sanchez will throw back to second first. I expect a lot of that today. The Wildcats already overpick to the bases, but with a team that steals as much as Northeastern does, they're going to go over there 5-6 times and at bat, it feels like.
Just got to make sure it doesn't affect your approach and delivery to the plate, right? You can't let it get in your head too much. We know they're going to be there. We know the threat is there.
Throw back to second. Oh, if that's a better throw, they might have gotten Garrity, who had really taken a big lead, but the throw is spiked, and Venegas has to take it off his chest to keep it in the infield.
See danger right there, too. And if it's a slightly worse throw, Venegas doesn't keep that in front of his body, right? Talking about an easy trip down to third, if not
Potentially
more.
a run scored there, yeah. Still no outs here in the top of the first. The 2-1 to Maldonado is a throw back to second again, and that one does get into center field off the glove of Venegas. Well, you play with fire and you're going to get burned.
Yep. You got to be careful. It's not easy, right? Spinning all the way around, finding Venegas there. You got to deliver it perfectly. He's not that far away from the mound, so when you're throwing as hard as Sanchez does over there, you like you said, you're playing with fire. I'd expect that to be dialed back a little bit already here in this game.
Already an error for the Wildcats. They made one last night against Florida State. The 2-1. Swing and a miss at a slider outside that flew away from Maldonado's bat, and it's 2-2. Runner on third, nobody out. Top one here for Northeastern, who did score first last night against Mississippi State. Another slider outside, called a ball, 3-2. Scored one in the first and one in the second before Mississippi unloaded on them for 11 runs. Swing and a miss, strike three. Fastball down and in. One away in the inning as Maldonado strikes out.
And the key with any of these games, right, is that settle down mentality, that just keep the ship moving forward. And Sanchez has been one of the best of this team at doing that. Sure, you might have runners on early. You might even plate that run. But if you can settle in and give you a good handful of innings, I mean, we saw Corey give the Wildcats a great shot yesterday. If you can repeat that, then you can do okay.
Here's the best hitter on the Northeastern team. Harrison Feinberg takes a ball low and inside. Feinberg, a junior, batting .371 and slugging a massive .723. 62 runs on 75 hits, 13 doubles, 2 triples, 18 home runs to lead the team, and 66 batted in. He's got a runner on third with 1 out. There's a fastball down Broadway for strike one. 1-1 on Feinberg. Sanchez, the lefty, deals. Ground ball, foul outside of third. Sharply hit, but right next to the coach's box down there, and it's 1-2. Feinberg, the redshirt junior from Greenwich, Connecticut, and a transfer from all the way out at USC in the Pac-12. Formerly of the Pac-12, I should say. USC had a big win last night, knocking off TCU out there in Corvallis. 1-2. High pop, center field. That should get the run in. Figueroa makes the catch midway up. He's going to throw home, but Garrity is going to get there in plenty of time. A sac fly plates Garrity, and it's 1-0 Northeastern.
Just doing your job up there at the plate. But for the Wildcats, if you can escape this with no further damage, it's going to be an early second guess as the insistence on throwing over and letting up a run there, and what otherwise would have just had you runner down at third.
Now two away and nobody on. Here's Jack Goodman, the junior, batting .330. First pitch, a swing and a miss, strike one. Goodman, 43 runs on 65 hits, 9 doubles, a triple, 10 homers, and 50 RBI. I mean, we talk about this Northeastern team not being a great offensive team, but your top three guys, all 10-plus home runs and all slugging over 500. Fastball out, or actually called a strike on the outside corner. Now 0-2 on Goodman. Our umpiring crew today is the same crew as we had yesterday, but just rotated around. Here's the 0-2 to Goodman. Sanchez deals. Foul back to the screen. Shane Cannon is calling balls and strikes. Chris Gonzalez is at first. Joe Burleson is at second, and Angel Campos, who was the home plate umpire last night, moves to third. You talked about it a little bit in the pregame, Bryce. This is a quick turnaround for Northeastern after the big rain delay that postponed our game for about 3 hours yesterday afternoon. 0-2 outside, 1-2 on Goodman. Northeastern and Mississippi State didn't start their game till almost 9, didn't get done till almost midnight. That's why this game got pushed back to 1 o'clock instead of its original start time at noon. Here's the 1-2 to Goodman. In the air, right center field. That's going to be a long run, and it's going to drop in between the fielders and head to the wall. Goodman headed for second. He'll be there with a stand-up double, the second one of the day for Northeastern, and they've got a 2-out runner in scoring position. And the 2 balls that have been hit off of Sanchez have been gappers to the wall.
And you can see, right, what makes Northeastern a 48-win team, because you touch on that short rest. I mean, that's putting it lightly. And really, if Coach Hernandez was any worse of a guy, right, I was there when he got the phone call, do you want to move this game to 1 o'clock? He very easily could have stood up and said, no, let's keep that at noon and put their feet to the fire. But that's not who he is. We know that. But either way, Northeastern still coming out swinging. You thought maybe the bats would lag a little bit with all that mileage. But no, getting right back where they left off.
First pitch, upstairs ball 1 to Carmelo Musakia. The junior batting .309. 49 runs on 64 hits, 14 doubles, 3 triples, 6 homers, and 35 RBI. He's got Jack Goodman on second with 2 outs here. Top 1, Northeastern already a run in the inning. He fouls one into the camera well down the third base side, and it's 1-1. But again, if you only give up 1 here, and you can just get the bats, go to work, and see if you can outslug a team.
How many times have we seen it?
1-1. There's a strike call inside corner 1-2 with the fastball at 89 miles an hour. I was talking with Scott Summer, our associate AD, before we went live today, and we were just remarking about the pitcher for Florida State last night, Peyton, going 98-99. Swing and a miss. Round the fastball up and in, strike 3 at 94. Nice pitch from Sanchez, and that'll be the end of the inning. A run on 2 hits and 1 left for Northeastern. We go to the bottom of the first. Northeastern 1. Wildcats coming to bat. You're listening to BCU Baseball here at the Tallahassee Regionals on the CatEye Radio Network and 1380 WELE. To the bottom of the first we go here at Mike Martin Field, Dick Hauser Stadium in Tallahassee. It's Northeastern 1, Bethune-Cookman coming to bat in the bottom of the first. A run on 2 hits, but the 2 hits, 2 really ripped doubles. The Wildcats could have been in a lot more trouble than they actually were. Good on Edwin Sanchez, Bryce, to get those 2 strikeouts.
Yeah, it's important, right? He's been that for you. Well, he hasn't maybe been your Friday night guy all year. He's pitched with that Friday night mentality. He's settled it down, he's limited damage, and he's done it there. The lineup shuffle today is going to be interesting to see, very clearly trying to put a little bit of juice into that lack of hitting with runners on base, runners in scoring position. There's been a fair amount of shuffling that we really haven't seen for probably a month or so in this lineup.
Darrell Lee stands into the batter's box to face the lefty Jordan Gottesman. A 93-mile-an-hour fastball misses outside to Lee, who's batting an even .300 on the year. 48 runs on 60 hits, 12 doubles, 5 triples, 9 homers, and 46 batted in. Another one outside and low on the fastball by Gottesman. Gottesman, a graduate student from Acton, Massachusetts, had a transfer from Endicott College, where he spent his first 3 collegiate seasons. Up and in, ball 3. He trails Darrell Lee 3-0 in the count. Former Division III Pitcher of the Year at Endicott College, a career ERA of 3.37. Endicott College is also in Massachusetts. There's a fastball strike down the middle at 92, 3-1. Northeastern, of course, if you're unfamiliar, is just outside of Boston. And they play in the Beanpot every year, along with Boston College and Boston University. Swing and a miss, fastball away. Lee went after it and couldn't catch up to it. Now it's 3-2.
You look at just the 17 walks for Gottesman on the year, and it's 2 pitches like that back-to-back that you can see why, even down 3-0, he is so tough.
3-2. Lee tips it into the glove, strike 3. Well, I'm going to read you Gottesman's numbers now, and they read like a fantasy roster. 2.30 ERA, 9-2, 15 appearances, 2 complete games, 78 and a third innings pitched. He's given up 23 runs on 50 hits, 20 earned, walking 17 and striking out 92 with a batting average against of 180. He's also only hit 3 batters on the year. Andre Martinez swinging a miss at a ball in the dirt. And it's 0-1. And the Wildcats cannot give him quick innings because he will go complete games, and you'll look up and it'll be the 8th inning. Here's the 0-1. Ground ball, chopped towards third, fielded on a hop by Doyle, throws across the diamond, 2 away.
Hey man, if there's one thing we know from those early season non-conference games from teams in that part of the country, whether it be Northwestern last year, Stony Brook this year, they all play that similar style of pitch you to death, great defense, great fundamental baseball. And Northeastern is going to be really a shining example of that, a great defensive play to start this one off.
Here's Jorge Rodriguez, who had the only 2 RBI last night as the Wildcats fell 6-2 to Florida State. Had a 2 RBI single in the third and fouls a fastball back to the screen, 0-1. They're just showing the 2 RBI single by Rodriguez on the video board here at Florida State. Really, the Wildcats had plenty of chances to get back in that game, but left 8 on base and were 1 of 10 with runners in scoring position. Check swinging a ball down low, no swing, 1 ball, 1 strike to count to Rodriguez. On the year, Rodriguez batting .361, highest average on the team. 37 runs on 57 hits, 14 doubles, no triples, 14 home runs, 45 RBI. He puts one in the air to left field, not very deep. Coming in is Feinberg. He'll trot in to make the catch, and 1-2-3 go the Cats. We go to the second inning of play, 1-0 Northeastern here on the CatEye Radio Network and 1380 WELE. To the second we go, 1-0 Northeastern with the Huskies coming to bat. Elimination game here at the Tallahassee Regional. Edwin Sanchez on the hill facing the designated hitter, the righty Matt Brinker. And the pitch. Line drive right into the glove of Martinez at third. He scoops it on a hop, throws across the diamond. What a beautiful play by Andre Martinez, 1 down.
And Andre Martinez has only gotten better in just the really probably 2 weeks of consistent time we've seen him over there, given the keys to the third base spot. Great snag there, and give him credit, too, for the throw over, because this Wildcats team that's been adventurous at times but nails that one right in the heart over there of Jorge Rodriguez.
And that's not an easy pick, too. Glove across his body right down the third base line. Could have easily been 2, if not 3 bags for Brinker. First pitch, a strike inside corner to Alex Lane. Lane, the senior, batting .239, plays first base for the Huskies. Ground ball, kicks off the mound towards Venegas at second. He'll throw over to first, 2 away on 3 pitches.
Definitely already see just the pacing of this game is a lot different than it looked against Florida State yesterday.
That was a tough play for Venegas, too, because it kicked off the mound. He had to change his direction as he charged the ball. That was a slow roller as well.
Good start for a BCU defense that was not its sharpest yesterday, certainly not its sharpest at the end of the SWAC tournament last week.
To the 8-hole hitter, the catcher, Greg Bozzo, and he puts one in the air. First pitch swinging left field line, not very deep, going out. Poyedo, he will make the catch in front of Lee, and just 5 pitches to get 3 outs for Edwin Sanchez. We go to the bottom of the second. 1-0 Northeastern Wildcats coming to bat next. This is Bethune-Cookman University baseball at the Tallahassee Regional on the CatEye Radio Network at 1380 WBLE. We go to the bottom of the second here in Tallahassee. Wildcats still trailing the Northeastern Huskies 1-0 after going 1-2-3 in the first. Jesus Venegas leads off, and I was talking to Scott before the game, and he told me a pretty inauspicious stat about Jesus Venegas, who watches one on the shoe tops for ball 1. He is 0 for his last 12, dating back to the Texas Southern game in the first round of the SWAC tournament with 7 strikeouts and 2 walks. 1-0, swing and a miss, ahead of the off-speed, down at 83 miles an hour, and it's 1-1.
Just hasn't looked comfortable at the plate for going on a week now.
On the year, Venegas struck out 70 times. Popped sky high on the infield left-hand side. Doyle and Goodman communicating, and it'll be the shortstop, Goodman, to make the catch for the first out.
Just even when they haven't been strikeouts for Venegas, a lot of times it's the pop-ups, it's those weak fly balls. He's just so indispensable defensively at second base that you can't take him out of the lineup. You can't even give him a breather, really, which in that respect, I almost feel bad for him as a guy who could probably use a day or 2 on the bench or could have along this road here, but he's just been good at defense. They don't really have a secondary guy at that second base spot.
Here's Judah Poyedo. He's been moved up from 7 to 5 in the order. And that was one of the things we were questioning as the first pitch is a ball low from Gottesman. That are you willing to break up that 7-8-9 of Poyedo, Rivera, and Figueroa that's been so good over the past week? Poyedo, line drive, base hit down the third base line. That's going to head towards the corner. Poyedo going to race towards second. The ball kicks off the tarp, and late fielding it is Feinberg. So it's a stand-up double for Poyedo, first hit of the game for the Wildcats. All 3 hits combined between these 2 teams in the first 2 innings have been doubles.
And, you know, moving around, those shifts in the lineup sometimes, they seem to us, you know, as an outside viewer, something that shouldn't matter. But a lot of times to these guys, getting bumped up just a couple of spots can mean a new mentality. And for Jeter Poyedo, I think his kind of lack of experience, right, at this level, just the redshirt year last year, first full year here, just go wherever you put me, right? And then putting it right down the line to start out his day today, picking up where he left off.
Runner on second, one out. Here's Irvin Escobar. And he fouls one back to the screen. Escobar really kind of feels hard done yesterday because he was doubled off on a line drive after he got the first. And then he was robbed by one of the most spectacular shortstop plays you will ever see by Alex Lodies. He's down 0-1 to the pitcher, Gottesman. Throws it in the dirt. Gottesman has not been as accurate as I expected him to be. Hasn't walked anybody yet because the Wildcats have been swinging, but that strike percentage is pretty far down. He's gotten behind in some counts as well. Here's the 1-1 to Escobar, the catcher, as a spin and a throw back to second. Almost hits Daryl, it does hit Jeter Poyeto, in the back, and dribbles behind him. He'll stay on second. Hit him right on the number. Odd, and he's going to call for time, try and walk that off. It didn't look like the ball was thrown very hard by Gottesman, but I don't know, that baseball hurts no matter how fast it hits you. Once again, 1-1 on Escobar. With Poyeto on second and one out here. Wildcats down 1-0, looking to tie this thing up. The 1-1 is swing and a miss at a breaking ball in the dirt. That's the first time we've really seen that kind of slower curve. We've seen the change, now that's the curve, and we've also seen the fastball. And now Irv behind 1-2 in the count. The pitch. Inside, almost hit him. I'm not sure what that hit because it popped straight up in the air. Poyeto stays on second as Bozzo behind the plate recovers the ball. And it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. It almost looked like it hit him in the helmet.
Yeah, the sound was a little off, too. I'm with you. I don't know what that hit.
2-2. Fouled away first base side. And a count holds 2-2. Yeah, it looked like it hit him right on the helmet, but he didn't protest. He didn't try to go to first, so it must not have hit him. That's very odd. 2-2. Poyeto waits on second. Here's the pitch. Popped up, foul territory, first base side onto the roof, and it holds 2-2.
Escobar is one of the better equipped batters in this BCU lineup to deal with that inside pitch on the hands. That's 2 now that he's fouled off, neither of which are easy or you even expect to be put in play, but just to stay alive on those it's a tough job to do.
Once again, the 2-2 for the third time. Line foul again. And for the fourth time, we'll do the 2-2. There were a lot fewer people in this building than there were yesterday for the Florida State game. I'd say maybe 20% capacity right now. We will full up over 5,000 people in here. That's in the air, center field well hit, but it's going to be caught by Maldonado. Poyeto's going to tag and try to go to third. He will be there as the throw goes up the line. So Escobar moves the runner across, and now here's the one change in the lineup today. Jorge Gonzalez-Febo is going to get a chance to drive in Poyeto from third with 2 outs.
You're going to get a pretty good look here if it was the right choice or not, pushing a button. We haven't seen Febo at all outside of pinch running and defensive opportunities in the SWAC tournament, a guy who had his fair share of struggles with the bat a lot this year, but I'm sure was fighting for a spot to get in this lineup.
Lefty pitcher, righty hitter, Gottesman deals. That's a cutter in the zone for strike one. And we said before when we saw Febo's laying on the lineup card, I mean, if he looks bad here, I would not hesitate to put Armani Newton or even Ray Placencia back in. At the DH spot, the 0-1. Ground ball foul, third base side. Got a hold of it and chopped it over Coach Hernandez's head. Now he's down 0-2. Yeah, I'll mention again, the Wildcats last night, 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position.
A lot of it for Febo, right? It's just how the AB looks. You go down on 3 right here. It's not looking too great.
0-2 from Gottesman, the lefty deals. Upstairs, wastes one. And it's 1-2. And that's that high inside pitch that the Wildcats have offered at times this year and look kind of silly on for strike threes. Febo lays off of it. Here's the 1-2. Check swing in the dirt. Did he go? No. And it's 2-2. That was close. And Febo's going to wander around the back of the circle. Excuse me. Now stand back in. 2-2. 2 outs. Tying run on third. Outside, 3-2. Good job by Fable to get back into this at-bat after being down 0-2.
And with a guy that's as tough as Gottesman, you are looking for something in the zone here. He's not going to waste one.
The 3-2 pitch. Watched it, strike three looking. Fabo doesn't agree with it, and that's the end of the inning. It was kind of low and away, but it was called strike three, and the Wildcats strand another runner in scoring position. We go to the third, 1-0 Northeastern here on the CatEye Radio Network and 1380 WELE. Back in Tallahassee as we go to the third inning of play. 1-0 Northeastern with the Huskies up to bat over the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Standing in now is the 9-hole hitter Jack Doyle. Doyle, the senior, batting .270. Right-hand hitter. 35 runs on 40 hits, 6 doubles. No triples, 6 homers, and 23 RBI. First pitch, a fastball inside corner for strike one from Edwin Sanchez, who got out of the second inning on just 5 pitches. Ground ball, pop-up. 0-1. Line drive down the left field line. That is going to be foul by a foot. Oh, baby, that was a triple waiting to happen.
Yeah, that hard contact, really putting it in the right spots a lot for Northeastern. Sanchez probably a little bit lucky to this point on a couple of those.
So now it's 0-2 on Doyle. That almost looked like the one that Darrell E. hit last night with 2 on in the ninth that landed just a few inches foul. So Doyle will stand back in, the right-handed hitting senior. Sanchez ahead, 0-2 in the count. Pitch inside corner, not called on the fastball. And it's 1-2. Doyle leaned out of the way of that one a little bit. Sanchez deals the 1-2. Check swing, did he go? No, up and out. And it's 2-2. First base umpire Chris Gonzalez has not called any of those check swings at all. And the 2-2. Foul back to the screen on a breaking ball. Count holds. Getting those first batter outs, so important. Of course, the one run that Northeastern scored back in the first was a leadoff double that was eventually sac flied home. The 2-2. Inside, 3-2. Missed with the fastball. Appreciate your company here on this Saturday afternoon, wherever you're listening to us, be it on the CatEye Network on YouTube or 1380 WELE. Here's a 3-2. Strike three! Got him looking inside corner on a check swing. Third strikeout for Sanchez. One down in the inning.
That one hugged that inside corner pretty good. That was a close pitch. But another good at bat from Northeastern ends in the strikeout. You knew they weren't going to come back out and give you another 5-pitch out. They're going to battle.
Back to the top of the order. Here's Ryan Garrity, who doubled to the left center field corner his first time up, came around to score on the sac fly by Harrison Feinberg. First pitch, slider upstairs, ball 1. Garrity, full numbers on him, a 286 hitter, getting on base at 409. 50 runs on 58 hits, 11 doubles, 2 triples, as that's a ball, and it's 2-0. 5 home runs for Garrity and 33 RBI. Also 25 steals on the year. That one just missed low and inside, and it's 3-0. One of the things that got the Wildcats into trouble yesterday was Joel Corey walking 6 guys, even though he struck out 7. The 3-0. Down the middle for strike 1. Garrity takes all the way. The top 5 guys in this Northeastern order have 20-plus steals. There's a strike, fastball low and away, 3-2. Garrity 25, Maldonado 29, Harrison 36, Goodman 20, Musakia 27. That's unbelievable.
Really a less chaotic version of some of these SWAC schools we see. Lots smarter runners.
3-2, ball 4 down low. First walk of the game delivered by Sanchez. And 1 on, 1 out. And with the prolific stealing numbers of this Northeastern team, walks are going to come back to hurt you a whole lot more, because it's not like you can just hold those guys on first and they'll stay there. They are going to be moving.
And if you throw over, you got to be smart, right? It's certainly an easier throw over if you're checking in at first, but you can't let it, A, sail into that foul territory, or B, get away from the guy you've got at the plate.
On cue, an immediate check over there to first. Here's Cam Maldonado. Struck out his first time up for the first out of inning number 1. Lefty to righty, Sanchez looks the runner back and throws to first. Am I going to have to put more money in the I want the pickoff limit swear jar? I probably will, am I?
Well, maybe we'll start a counter next season.
Runner goes, throw home, and the ball is low and bobbled by Escobar. Stolen base for Garrity. There's number 27 on the season for Garrity. It's like 26, excuse me.
Fast, smart runners. That's how they're going to win a lot of these games. They're going to be a terror down there all day. Escobar just kind of sits on that one, plays it safe.
Breaking ball, fouled away third base side, 1-1 on Maldonado. And Northeastern today, they're now 7 steals away. Oh, sorry, they're 17 steals away from tying Virginia Military for the lead. Breaking ball outside, 2-1 on Maldonado. Coming into the day, Northeastern second in the country, 192 steals. VMI have played 8 less games at 209 steals. Sanchez looks the runner back at second, deals the 2-1. Fouled away over the right field bleachers, and it's 2-2. Sanchez isn't one of those guys that's going to give you those Corey-type numbers from yesterday where Corey threw almost 120 pitches. Tap foul right at the plate. That was a slider. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
They kept Sanchez out of the game yesterday just because of all the mileage on that arm from the SWAC championship last week. 2 starts over just a 4-day span.
Sanchez, the junior from Puerto Rico, has a 2-2 count on Maldonado, and he'll come home with it. Strike 3 called. Slider outside corner. Another K for Sanchez. Second one of the inning, 2 outs.
Sanchez just has a way, man, of picking those corners when he has to have it, right? He's not one that just fires it over the edge just because you have to have it. He could dial one up, and might not have the velocity that everybody else does, but Northeastern, a very patient team, a little bit too patient on that one.
Now with 2 away, here's Harrison Feinberg, who picked up the RBI back in the first with a... Oh, the ball goes into center field on a pickoff attempt, and down to third goes Garrity. Oh, my goodness, history is repeating itself.
I think we probably should retire the throw to second for the day, at least while Sanchez is in there. It's
Two
just
errors.
not easy.
both on Sanchez, both on failed pickoffs to second base to put Garrity on third with Feinberg at the plate. So here we go again.
Just got to focus on the guy at the plate with 2 outs. How many times have we said it?
Yeah, can't sack fly him in this time with 2 down. First pitch is a curveball up and out, ball 1. Feinberg, the team leader in RBI, got his 67th of the season back in the first inning. Pitch. Once again, missed with a breaking ball upstairs. 2 balls, no strikes on Feinberg. And after getting through the second inning on just 5 pitches, he's made life difficult for himself, right? Walk, error, stolen base, and a runner on third. 2-0, fastball up and in, 3-0, and this is how he got Garrity get away from him.
Now with the runner on third, I'm expecting Harrison to be pretty aggressive here.
Garrity dances over at third. The pitch swung on, high pop, foul territory, first base side, going back towards the stands, giving Chase Rodriguez. He's going to run out of room as it lands in the third row.
Yeah, very clearly going after it there. I expect the same approach here. I don't expect Northeastern to sit back on it and wait to work the walks when they've got the runner on third and 2 outs.
And it doesn't matter what the pitching numbers look like for Northeastern, but the offensive pedigree the Wildcats have, Northeastern will not be happy with a 1-0 lead. The 3-1. In the dirt, ball 4. Throw back to third, and safe. Sliding back in is Garrity, an aggressive pickoff attempt by Escobar. But now runners on the corners with 2 down. The batter is Jack Goodman, who doubled to the right field wall his first time up.
Martinez at third. Thought he had him. It was close.
Remember, the Wildcats lost a game that way against Arkansas Pine Bluff. Escobar threw one down the left field line, and the winning one came in from third. So now once again, runners on the corners, and here is Jack Goodman, the junior shortstop. .333 his average after his double in the first. Runners on the corners. Pitch. In the dirt, runner goes down to second. Escobar holds the ball, and now it's second and third with 2 outs. So already 2 steals in the inning for Northeastern. And you can see how they got that reputation as being the best base stealing team in the country. Or second best, excuse me. Sanchez has lost that command a little bit. The 1-0 to Goodman. Swing and a miss. Went after the off speed and was way out ahead of it, 1-1. Down at 76 miles an hour, that changeup.
Watching back that replay a couple times of the pickoff attempt at third. Maybe the biggest MVP is the third base coach, because that one was really close, but he blocked right in the way of where you would have seen the shot.
High fly ball. Center field and shallow. Venegas, the second baseman, will go out there. Poyeto's also there. He'll call him off and make the catch, and that's the end of the innings. The Wildcats strand 2 off 2 walks, no hits, 2 left. And we go to the bottom of the third. Bethune-Cookman still trailing Northeastern 1-0. This is Bethune-Cookman University Baseball at the Tallahassee Regional on the CatEye Radio Network at 1380 WELE. Back in Tallahassee, we go to the bottom of the third, 1-0 Northeastern over Bethune-Cookman. Nike is the official outfitter of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Gear up on the newest BCU Nike gear at Nike.com/Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. The Wildcats have had one hit, one base runner through the first 2 innings. Sergio Rivera will stand in, one of the hottest bats in the nation right now, as he watches strike one, fastball inside corner. Rivera batting .324, 47 runs on 44 hits, 11 doubles, 3 triples, 3 homers, and 34 batted in. He pitches hammered to left center field and deep. Back goes Maldonado. He's at the track. He's at the wall. It's caught on the track. 2 steps from the wall. That was hit to the deepest part of the park. If it's hit anywhere else, that ball is way out of here. Oh, man.
Yeah, we don't have to see Sergio Rivera get a hold of one like that. Probably would have liked to drop that down just a little bit more, but you're right, man. Anywhere else, save the dead center, that ball is gone and gone quickly. But hard contact tends to be a good harbinger of things to come, so you hope the Wildcats can put that together a little more consistently up and down the lineup.
Now it's Daniel Figueroa, the switch hitter, batting right. First pitch in on the hands, ball 1. Figueroa, .373 hitter. Started just 22 games, 83 at-bats, 21 runs on 31 hits. 6 doubles, no other extra base hits, and 23 RBI. 2 balls, no strikes. The count after that one missed low. And the pitch from Gottesman. That one's laced to left center field. That's going to be one hop the wall. Figueroa racing towards second. He's going to get there standing with a 1-out double. Every piece of contact from both teams has been absolutely laced today.
Well, and that's where you maybe second guess again, moving Poyeto up in that order again, because the 3 guys who had the best piece of contact today are those same 3, right? Poyeto, Rivera, Figueroa. That's back-to-back. You think if Sergio's, man, is a foot more maybe towards the left field side or maybe a foot further so it's off the wall, this game's tied. I mean, that's how close that is.
Now it's Darrell Lee, back to the top of the order for the Wildcats. Lee struck out his first time up. And he leans away from a pitch inside, ball 1. Darrell Lee maybe missed the left field line by about 2 feet last night in what would have been a 2 RBI double at least in the 9th inning against Florida State. 1-0, swing and a miss at a fastball low and away. And Lee backs out of the box, shakes his head. He knows he chased that one, 1-1. 2 Wildcats have struck out, Lee and Fabo, through the first time through the order. Here's the 1-1. Go back to second. Figueroa, is in there with a left-handed slide. Lee's average down at 299. That's the first time in a couple of months his average has been below 300. Lee, right field side, once again smash, but foul into the bleachers. And it's 1-2.
Jumped on it just a little bit. Another hammered ball.
How many times have we seen Lee put those right down the line for doubles or triples this year? He's at his best when he's getting out in front of curves and sliders and changeups and just hammering them. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Late decision to swing on a curveball up and in the zone. And the second strikeout of the day for Lee, 3rd overall for Gottesman, and there's 2 away, runner on second. Here's Andre Martinez, who grounded out to the third baseman Doyle his first time up.
It's not an ideal at-bat there, obviously ending in the strikeout with the runner in scoring position, but Wildcats gotta like the contact that they've seen even before this inning, right? Later into this game here.
Martinez off the end of the bat, foul behind the plate. 0-1, he's going after that first pitch. Remember, Andre, 1 home run away from breaking the all-time BCU single-season record. He's currently tied it at home run to win the SWAC title in the 9th inning in Birmingham last week. Tied the record at 20.
No better time to get one than now. We thought we were going to have a shot last night for him to come to the plate with bases juiced and a chance to tie the game. Still hasn't quite looked all together, right? I mean, we know how emotional the finish was. We know how incredible the finish was in Birmingham last week, but hasn't necessarily carried that forward yet. We know that he's, the #1 target for all of these pitching staffs. They know what he is when he steps into the box. He's not sneaking up on anybody. He's getting your best effort
quick meeting behind the plate from Derek Cartaya. Martinez stands back in and watches a fastball low for ball one. Wildcats facing Jordan Gottesman, the grad student transfer from Endicott College at the Division III level. And Martinez tips it into the glove for strike two. When Gottesman goes to the off-speed, either the change or the curve, that's when the Wildcats have had trouble, because they're expecting that really nasty mid-90s fastball. Gottesman now 1-2 up on Martinez. Here's the pitch. Bounced foul to the third base side, rolling towards the dugout, and it's 1-2 again.
Definitely throwing off the timing, right? The sparing use of that breaking ball. You see Martinez way out in front of that fastball now.
Barely got a piece of it, but he's going to get a chance to see the 1-2 again. Outside and low, missed with the curve, did Gottesman. 2-2. 2 outs. Daniel Figueroa on second after his one-out double off the left center field wall. Swing and a miss from Martinez. Ball gets away from Bozo, the catcher. He'll recover down the first base line, and that's out number 3. 4 strikeouts, 2 in the inning for Gottesman, and it's still 1-0. Oh boy, the Wildcats now 1 for 12 in the tournament with runners in scoring position. We go to the 4th, 1-0 Northeastern here on the CatEye Radio Network at 1380 WELE. We go to the 4th, 1-0 Northeastern. That single run in the first, still the difference between these two teams. Edwin Sanchez, 55 pitches into his work. Back out on the mound to face Carmelo Musakia, who he struck out his first time up to end the first inning. This is an elimination contest here at the Tallahassee Regional. Musakia puts one in the air, left-hand side. That goes back towards the track. Darrell Lee has it covered 2 steps away from the track, and there's 1 out in the inning. Off the bat, I thought that was going to do a little bit more damage than it ended up doing. There is no wind out here today, like not at all. The flag just standing limp out there in center field.
Really, on the whole, Northeastern hasn't been inspiring necessarily offensively. They've just really done what you haven't, and they've gotten the hit to drive runners in, or they've gotten the sacrifice fly to really do that extra bit of damage.
Here's Matt Brinker, who grounded out to third his first time up on a really great pick by Andre Martinez down the third baseline. First pitch a strike, and it's 0-1. Sanchez deals. Inside fastball, 1-1. Sanchez has taken a key from Joel Corey yesterday, and he's working real quick. 10-plus seconds on the pitch clock every time he starts his windup. Off the end of the bat, popped up. Right field and shallow. Rivera comes in, makes the catch, calls off Venegas, and there's 2 away.
Man, and if Northeastern's going to continue to get Sanchez these quick innings, right, I mean, you're going to feel pretty hard done by your bats if they can't do something. You got to get it going for Sanchez because he's been really stellar to start this game.
Now 2 away on just 3 pitches, and here's Alex Lane. Grounded out to second his first time up on the ball that kicked off the mound, and it was a great read by Venegas over there at second to pick it up. First pitch to him. Inside, fastball, ball 1. Brinker watches a strike at the knees, and it's 1-1. Brinker, 6'2". His listed numbers looks way bigger than that. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Got him to chase a curveball in the dirt. And it's 1-2. He looks like he could play linebacker. He's a big dude in his upper body. 6 home runs on the year for Brinker, 28 RBI. Here's the 1-2. Little dribbler back to the mound. Off to the left side, Sanchez fields, fires across, and that's the end of the inning. Another quick one for Northeastern. They go 1-2-3. Wildcat Bats will try and erase this 1-0 deficit as we go to the bottom of the 4th. You're listening to the 2025 Tallahassee Regional Championships on the CatEye Radio Network at 1380 WELE. It's 1-0 Northeastern Huskies over Bethune-Cookman Wildcats as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Bethune-Cookman up to bat here. Jorge Rodriguez leads off against Gottesman. The Wildcats have stranded one in scoring position each of the last 2 innings. Dribbled foul, third base side, first pitch swinging. Nice fielding hands from Coach Hernandez in the third base coach's box. We were talking to Coach Watton at dinner last night. The softball coach was up here as the site administrator. And she was like, man, anything hit my way, I'm getting out of the way. Coach Hernandez is the opposite. He's trying to field everything like he's still playing. That one down low, 1-1 on Rodriguez, who flew out to left his first time up.
They certainly respect the power of Rodriguez, right? Garrity out in the right is on the track.
Swing and a miss. Change up down low, way out ahead of it. And it's 1-2. The pitch mix from Gottesman has been very impressive between the change, the curve, and the fastball. For just a 3-pitch mix, he throws them all very well. 1-2. Fastball low, 2-2. And it's the kind of pitch mix that you don't often see in SWAC arms, or even some of the midweek arms that you play around the state of Florida. 2-2. Swung on and fouled away right off his foot. Rodriguez wore that one pretty good. He's going to hop away. But as Coach Hernandez likes to say to us all the time, right, that's why they schedule the tough midweek conference schedule. I mean, you don't win a lot of those games. Your record maybe isn't as good as it could be, but it prepares you to see arms and see bats like this when you get to this kind of setting in a regional.
It's not all that different, right, from the regional itself, where you go into those games, you got everything to gain and nothing to lose.
2-2. Outside, 3-2. Gottesman hasn't walked anybody and struck out 4 so far, including back-to-back Ks in the third to get out of that one-on-one out jam. Rodriguez puts in the air to center field. That's going to be easy pickings for Maldonado as he stands 3 feet in front of the track and makes the catch for out number 1.
Had the right idea there.
2 hard-hit balls for Rodriguez today, 1 to left, 1 to center.
That one, there was a ton of space down there in left center. If he just kept that a little more shallow.
Wildcats are insisting on hitting the ball to the deepest part of the park. Rivera got robbed by some nice defense out there. Figueroa hit a double out there, and now Rodriguez. Down the lines, guys. Swing and a miss from Jesus Venegas. Fastball up and away, 0-1. If you haven't been here to Mike Martin Field, it's a really short porch and right. Just 320 to the right field corner. 0-1. Called a strike on the inside corner and low, and it's 0-2. 340 to the left field corner and 400 to dead center. And Florida State recruits that way. 6 of their 9 bats last night were lefties. Outside 1 and 2 on a changeup. Venegas watches it. It's almost like this team was built for Georgia Tech, but we didn't ever get to play there. 1-2. Venegas fouls it away. We'll see the 1-2 again.
Yeah, part of Coach Hernandez wanted Georgia Tech to get that regional, give us a shot to get up there. I still think we would have ended up here.
Yep.
But they really did. They built it for that ballpark. They were kind of devastated when we know we were going to Rickwood Field.
1-2. Venegas fouls it off into the Northeastern dugout on the left-hand side. We'll see the 1-2 again. Well, after last night's weather shenanigans, it is a beautiful day. Blue skies, couple of wispy clouds. Venegas swinging a miss, strike 3 on a curveball. And he's down on strikes for the first time today. 5th strikeout for Gottesman.
Man, it's been tough sledding for Venegas, man. It really has. It starts with getting down early in the counts, right? I mean, and it hasn't always been swinging. I mean, ever since last week at about this time, we talked about how he would just consistently swing at the first pitch. It hasn't necessarily always been that, but he's always found a way to get down in these counts. He can't hold off for too long, and the big swing and miss there.
Now here is Jeter Poyeto. One of the 2 hits the Wildcats have came from Poyeto. A rip double down the third base line his first time up. He watches the ball inside on a fastball at 92. And it's 1-0. Winner of this game survives till tomorrow. Well, they'll face the loser of Florida State and Mississippi State. That game coming up at 6 p.m. this evening in the winner's bracket. That one's laced to left field. That is going to drop in for a base hit. 2 for 2 is Jeter Poyeto. How good has he been the last couple of weeks?
Man, if Jeter Poyeto can tone up some of those defensive struggles that he's had, especially later on in this season, I mean, you're talking about a kid who late on in this year has looked like he could be a player of the year with how well he swung the bat. And he hasn't tried to do anything overcomplicated, but he's racked up the RBIs. He's been unbelievable. I mean, he's been a catalyst of just about every big rally you've had during this last month and a half of play.
Now it's Irvin Escobar, flew out to center his first time up, moved Poyeto to third on a sacrifice. Of course, Poyeto was then stranded there as throw back to first. Poyeto not really a threat to run, just 7 stolen bases on the year in 10 attempts. This is a Wildcats team that's not really going to steal a ton of bases outside of maybe Rivera, Figueroa, and Lee. In the dirt, Poyeto retreats back to first, a ball and no strikes on Escobar. Escobar had a really great at-bat his first time up, got down 0-2, fouled a couple off, worked it back to a 3-2 count before flying out to center field. (1-0). Breaking ball in on the hands, called a strike by home plate umpire Shane Cannon. And it's 1-1. I don't mind that take from Escobar. Quickly into his windup is Gottesman, and he'll throw back to first. Because if you're in that environment where you're practicing stealing every day, because it makes your pitchers pretty good at the pickoff moves. Wildcats have been picked off a couple of times down the stretch of this season, especially by Florida A&M in that championship game. Got picked off 3 times.
Yeah, Carson Kelly had one of the nastier deliveries over there to first that you'll ever see, so the Wildcats are well equipped to deal with a lefty like that.
Another pickoff, and now we come set. Gottesman will throw back to first for the 3rd time, and Poyeto is back in. We talk about the decision to move Jeter Poyeto to the 5 spot instead of the 7. Can Escobar and Fabo behind him drive him in? Line drive up the middle. Poyeto is going, so he's going to get all the way to third. Hit and run works to perfection for the Wildcats, and BCU has runners on the corners with 2 outs.
Yeah, and if Poyeto's not going there, then Masaki is staying in his spot at second, and that ball's right to him, but he has to run over to cover the bag in case Escobar swings and misses, and the ball needs to be thrown down to second. Instead, he's moving over, and then the gap where he was is where that ball sails right on through. Good piece of hitting by Escobar, a great play put on by the Wildcats, good running by Poyeto.
And now here we go again. It's the guy that was trusted to come into this lineup today, Jorge Gonzalez-Fabo. Struck out looking with Poyeto on third to end the second. Now he's got Poyeto on third, Escobar on first with 2 outs here in the 4th with the Wildcats down 1. Swinging a ground ball foul outside of third. A really aggressive swing from Fabo.
Baseball's funny, right? And that's 2 opportunities now with guys on for Fabo. Right out of the gate. Guy hasn't seen real at-bats in at least 3 weeks, right? And thrown right into 2 of the biggest ones of the season.
A lot of space on that right-hand side if he can go opposite field. Swing and a miss on a lazy swing. They're going to give Escobar second base on a steal. That's Escobar's 3rd steal of the season, by the way. I think all of them have looked exactly like that. Yep. 0-2 count now on Fabo.
Northeastern crowd getting loud.
Swing and a miss. Fastball in the dirt. Throw down to first to complete the strikeout. And again, the Wildcats are now 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position in the tournament. We go to the top of the 5th. 1-0 Northeastern here on the CatEye Radio Network at 1380 WELE. We go to the 5th, 1-0 Northeastern here in Tallahassee. Gregory Bazzo leads off for Northeastern here in the 5th. The Huskies lead the Wildcats 1-0. Bazzo 0 for 1 popped out on the infield to the shortstop Jeter Poyeto in the 2nd. First pitch from Edwin Sanchez is a breaking ball, strike, check, swing, and it's 0-1. Edwin Sanchez has pretty much done all you needed him to do. A rocky first inning, but he's pretty much mowed these Northeastern Huskies down. Has only allowed 2 base runners since that first inning. Fastball inside corner, strike 2 called by Shane Cannon behind the plate. Bazzo has only struck out 21 times in 147 at-bats this season. Make it 22. A beauty in the dirt. Throw down to first to complete the K. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, 1 away.
You're saying Sanchez doing everything they need to do. He's doing that and more, man. He has been incredible. mean, he has been calm, cool, collected, shut everything down after, like you said, a little bit of problems in the first, but he's really looked spectacular. A guy who probably feels like he should be pitching with a lead right now.
The Wildcats have stranded 4, 3 of them in scoring position. Now here's the 9-hole hitter, Jack Doyle. First pitch, fastball, strike outside corner to the right-hand hitter. Doyle 0 for 1, struck out looking in the third. And lefty to right of the pitch is upstairs. Slipped out of the hand a little bit of Sanchez, and it's 1-1. Doyle, the senior from Weymouth, Massachusetts, out of Weymouth High School. Listed at 6 foot 200. 1-1. Now, you cannot tell me that Jack Doyle and Matt Brinker are both 6'2", 200. They look completely different body types.
If I know anything about working in college athletics, working with rosters, you kind of just put what they tell you to put. And a lot of times, that's doing people some favors. Let's just say that.
1-2. Slider really got away from Sanchez into the outside batter's box, 2-2.
I mean, I even think Edwin Sanchez on the roster is a little generous at, 5'8", I think we have him listed.
Fastball, strike 3, called inside corner. 2 straight strikeouts for Sanchez to begin the 5th.
Well, the home plate official's been consistent on the inner half. I don't know that it's been the best call in the world, but he's called it both ways. That's another one that runs really far inside. I think the break on that and a good frame job by Escobar behind helps you out. But again, it's been a consistent call. I just don't think Northeastern agrees with it too much.
Both Sanchez and Gottesman now with 6 strikeouts. Ground ball back up the middle. Fielded behind the second base bag by Poyeto. Throw across to get Ryan Garrity. 1-2-3 go the Huskies. And we go to the bottom of the 5th. Wildcats still down 1-0. Looking for some offensive spark right here on the CatEye Radio Network at 1380 WELE. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Sergio Rivera is going to lead off for the Wildcats, down 1-0 to the Northeastern Huskies here in this elimination game at the 2025 Tallahassee Regional. The Wildcats have been frustrating on offense this weekend. Slider strike 1. As Rivera lays off of it, it's 0-1. Rivera flew out to left center his first time up and crushed it. Missed a home run by about 2 feet. And he puts one in the air down the left field line. That's going to go into foul territory. Will it stay in the yard? It will, and be caught on the turf by the third baseman, Doyle, 1 down.
The Wildcats could really use some more activity early on in these innings, right? A lot of what they've been able to put together has been later, has been with 1 or 2 outs. It's been a little too late.
Here's Daniel Figueroa now, who doubled to left center his first time up in the 3rd. The big what if, right? You know, if Sergio Rivera is hit anywhere else, it's either out of the park or down, and Rivera brings him in on the next pitch, and it's 1-1. But, you know, you talk a lot about what ifs yesterday. You talk a lot about what ifs today. And as you want to say a lot, That's loser talk. Just on the inside corner, missed with the fastball, did Gottesman. Count as 2 balls and no strikes on Figueroa. Gottesman up to 68 pitches. This will be number 69, and Figueroa watches it for a strike. By comparison, Edwin Sanchez at 72 pitches, so pretty comparable by the two pitchers in their work rates so far. Figueroa hasn't hit him on the ankle, and he's going to go down to first. That's the first really bad one that Gottesman's threw today. No wild pitches, no walks, but the first hit batter. Only the 4th hit batter of the season for Gottesman in almost 80 innings pitched.
I'd expect a bunch of checkovers here on your fastest runner in Figueroa. Northeastern's already gone to the pickoff attempt a ton. They tried to get Puedo 4 or 5 times just an inning ago. But I also wouldn't be surprised to see Figgy run here. I mean, the Wildcats are at the point now where they need to manufacture. Darrell Lee, not a great bunter, as we saw yesterday.
Lee 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. The K in the third came. Oh, he got hit in the upper shoulder up by the neck, and he goes down in a heap.
Oh, man, he got nailed square on the back, right between the shoulder blades.
And that was a fast one, too, 94 miles an hour.
Yeah, that one knocked the wind out of him for sure. Trainer Dave Lee's going to come out and look at him, but he's going to walk it off.
Yeah, the first one to Figueroa was, change up inside on the meat of the leg. Not that bad. That one was a fastball right in the square of the back up by his neck.
Yep.
Ow.
They're going to go out and check on Gottesman on the mound. Starting to show some vulnerability. I mean, if you don't want to have to play the what-if game on the bus ride back tonight, it's got to start now, right? I mean, I understand you've got plenty of time left. I understand you're going to get to bat last in this game. But this is another opportunity now with just 1 out that it feels like you got to have something here.
And guess what? The batter's Andre Martinez, as he has done in so many high-leverage situations. I mean, you talk about the home run to win the SWAC in the finals, right? But, of course, he had walked off against Southern in the regular season, gave the Wildcats the lead against Florida A&M in the regular season. He's just been there, done that. He always seems to be up in these kind of situations, and he didn't get a chance to come up last night. And I'm sure he went to bed thinking about it, man, if they'd given me a shot.
Really a lot of his best at-bats, especially in that tournament. I mean, he had his fair share of RBI. A lot of them came choking up on the bat and just flaring something out into the outfield. So don't necessarily think you have to hunt the fence, although we know how intriguing it could be over there, especially opposite field for him.
Look back to second from Northeastern. We got Figgy on second, Lee on first after back-to-back hit by pitches by Gottesman, who now has 5 hit by pitches. 60% of his hit by pitches in the year from Gottesman have come in the last 5 minutes. That's a crazy stat. The first pitch to Martinez is a throwback to second in his Figueroa, and that was a high throw. Muscasia had to reach his glove up over his head to get it, and just like the Wildcats have made 2 bad pickoff attempts, you don't want to gift the Wildcats something on throwing one in the center field.
Figgy can fly all the way home, too, if that happens.
Martinez, line drive, that's a fair ball down the left field line. That's going to go to the corner. Coming in from second to score is Figueroa. Darrell Lee's going to hold at third. We are tied at 1 as Andre Martinez hobbles into second and immediately calls for a trainer. Oh, no. That did not look good rounding first. But he has tied the game at 1 as Figueroa comes in.
Well, he's holding his hamstring, hoping maybe it just tightened up on him, but that's always scary, man. Rounding the bag and coming up lame like that. He's going to go down. He's definitely holding the hamstring towards the bottom on his right leg.
Oh, man. What a tough way for potentially a season to end for Andre Martinez, who's been the best hitting season maybe in Wildcat history.
Again, the way they're working on it's still making me think, at least hope for a cramp.
Yeah. It is really hot out there.
It is hot. It's different. I mean, even for us, right, coming from further down south where it's even hotter than it is here a lot of times.
Well, we get the benefit of the ocean breeze.
But I'll tell you what, man, I came from practice on Monday this week, and even Coach had said, man, this is a different kind of heat. This is hotter. We're not used to playing this late. This is different. And coming up here, right, like you said, you don't necessarily have the benefit of the ocean breeze all the time, so it makes it that much worse. It is a different beast when you get to this time of year, and these guys, even as much as we play in the heat all year, is a different level.
The sun is burning down onto the field. Even when I was down there for just about 5 minutes to get Coach Hernandez interviews and talk to some of the guys pregame, I was like, man, I feel like I'm getting sunburned, and I've been down here for 5 minutes.
Yep.
We're still working on Andre Martinez.
He was able to
over
get
at
up and
second
put the
base.
weight on the leg that he went down on.
Well, it is 92 degrees with 80+% humidity, no clouds. The sun is just beating down on the backs of these players.
He's going to stay in the game.
Wow.
Looks like it was a cramp.
And, even if it was something more, you'd bet on Andre Martinez to fight for his spot to stay in the game. Like, listen, man, I want to compete.
Yeah, man, he might just try to limp around the bases if it means he can climb back into the box one more time.
We saw that from Jorge Rodriguez earlier in the year, right? Yep. He was thrown out at first after a potential RBI. He was thrown out from first from left field because he limped down to first because he had a cramp.
Yep. He's still working on it a little bit, but yeah, with all the water and the fluids they put him, it was for sure a cramp. He's walking on it just fine. All
right.
Fortunate break.
Figueroa in, 1-1. Lee on third, Martinez on second after a ribby double. And here's Jorge Rodriguez 0 for 2 with 2 hard hit balls to the outfield. First pitch outside, ball one, scrambling is Bozzo, the catcher, to keep it in front of him. We haven't seen a wild pitch really at all in this tournament, or at least the games that the Wildcats have played. Both pitchers done a good job, and both catchers done a really good job to prevent one going for the backstop. The 1-0. Check swing, slider strike at the letters. And it's 1-1 on Rodriguez. One away here, bottom 5. The Wildcats have tied the game at 1 and have runners on second and third. Lee on third, Martinez on second after his RBI double. Gottesman deals. Swinging a chopper towards third. They're going to come home with it, and Lee is out. And they tagged out Jorge, who thought it was foul. Yeah. And so that should be a double play in the end of the game, at the end of the inning. Oh, my goodness. What is going on with Wildcat base running this weekend? We were doubled off 3 times yesterday, and now Jorge Rodriguez dribbles one down the third base side and doesn't run. I mean, that is a massive mistake.
Right, even if the call is wrong, right, for Jorge Rodriguez, you got to run that out. You have to run that out. That's textbook baseball. You absolutely have to go.
And I think we're going to have to review this here. Coach Annette is going to call for review. This is a big one because it's either a foul ball and Rodriguez gets back in the box with 2 runners on and 1 out, or the inning is over and Northeastern escapes with another massive mental mistake for the Wildcats.
I mean, you saw a couple of it yesterday, right? Andre Martinez on second gets doubled off on a potential sac fly. You saw 2 double plays, one of which Wildcat runners forgot the outs and were doubled up on first base on a liner. It's been bad. I mean, it's the kind of thing the Wildcats really haven't struggled with base running much this year. Let's look at the replay. Oh, it's in the batter's box, right by his foot.
Yeah. Oh, did it claim it hit his foot? I think that's maybe the claim.
I don't know if it, but see, even though it hit in the batter's box, not in front of it, so it looks like a foul ball, pretty cut and dry. But still, though, you got to run that out, right? Regardless, you have to run that out. That's fundamental baseball. You have to do that.
Yeah, I agree.
You don't want to excuse the play.
And we haven't officially gone to review, I think, unless the review is not done by the officials in a little alcove. It's done by somebody else.
We're about to find out. They're about to have a conversation with Coach Hernandez.
Well, the Wildcats got hosed, quote-unquote, on a review last night with a ball that hit Cheater Poyeto but didn't hit Cheater Poyeto and was called because it leaned in. Oh, it definitely hit him on the foot on that angle.
Yep.
Look at his shoelaces. If they show that angle again, look at his shoelaces. Right there.
Yep. His
shoelaces move. So we hope that it will be a foul ball.
So they're going to challenge. I think that one should be a quick one. Should be pretty cut and dry. But
yeah, we thought about that last night.
But we're not playing the host today, so you'd like to think we get one.
We are still the 4 seed, though. And
it's again. I've said it a couple times, but I don't want to excuse the play. You should run that one out, no matter how confident you are in that. I mean, the potential to keep it at least a runner in scoring position, 2 runners on with 2 outs is still an extra shot. I mean, that's the kind of thing. You don't want to have to play the what-if game tonight, right?
Remember, the call on the field is fair, though. That's the thing that is worrying me.
I mean, it's really conclusive. I mean, if you watch the broadcast, it's really conclusive.
It looks like it hit his foot. It definitely looks like it hit his foot. I mean, Darrell Lee was well out.
He's out anyway, for sure.
Well, if it's a foul ball, do you put him back on third? Because the play's dead, right?
Right.
The Wildcat fans down the first baseline are cheering. They think that's going to be called a foul ball. Stay up to date with everything Bethune-Cookman Athletics by checking out the Wildcats on social media. Give BCU Athletics a like on Facebook and follow the Wildcats on X and Instagram at BCU_athletics. For the latest on BCU baseball, follow at BCU Diamondcats on X and Instagram. And make sure you are representing Bethune-Cookman Athletics to the fullest. Buy the latest BCU gear online at the Bethune-Cookman online store. Go to BCUathletics.com and click on Shop to find the newest BCU clothing and apparel. That's BCUathletics.com and click on Shop. Well, no matter how this review goes, Bryce, no matter how the rest of this game goes, with the Wildcats tying in at 1 at the moment, it has been a legendary season for Bethune-Cookman baseball. I mean, 2 wins shy of tying the all-time program mark for wins, a maiden SWAC championship, another trip to a regional for the first time since 2017. It feels like Coach Hernandez, after years of frustration and being just there and not having all the pieces to get it done, finally put together a roster this year that was beyond anything we could have ever imagined.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail right on the head. The thing that makes it so satisfying, so sweet, is that it felt like it was a long time coming, right? It was a handful of pieces, whether it be Sergio Rivera and Daniel Figueroa, who have been here a little bit, adding to your Andre Martinez's, your Jesus Venegas, Edwin Sanchez. All those different pieces kind of came together in a really magical year, and one that I think, heading into the SWAC tournament, as nervous as we were and as hanging on every pitch as we were, it felt like going in you had the team that had it, right? You felt like you were head and shoulders above everybody else, and I think you proved it. Because really, if the SWAC was set up like just about any other conference in the nation, then you're not down to that last game of the championship game. You get another crack at it, and there, frankly, was almost no shot, barring some kind of miracle run, that FAMU was going to come out and beat you.
Yeah.
And you were the best team. You were the best team from start to finish. I still think, looking back, Coach would have probably liked to have some of those midweekers back and a real shot at tying or breaking the wins record for this program. But it's little things like that you don't have to nitpick when you come back with the hardware, when you come back with the trophy. We're going to get the call here.
Out of the dugout comes the umpiring crew. Remember, we're challenging a foul ball at the plate. We'll get the call.
I have a bad feeling this is going to stand.
After review, the call at the plate confirmed.
Yep.
Wow. That is unbelievable. The Wildcats have been hosed on 2 really bad reviews this weekend. Northeastern gets out of the inning. Coach Hernandez is furious down the third base line. But the Wildcats do tie the game at 1. A run on a hit and 1 left. And we go to the 6th. Tied at 1 between the Wildcats and the Northeastern Huskies here on the CatEye Radio Network and 1380 WELE. We go to the 6th. It's 1-1 between Northeastern and Bethune-Cookman. Wildcats plate 1 in the 5th to tie the game off an RBI double by Andre Martinez. It's good to see him out there playing third base after coming up with a cramp rounding first. Cam Maldonado leads off for Northeastern. He's 0 for 2 with 2 Ks against Edwin Sanchez. First pitch a strike on a breaking ball outside corner. We got some clarity on that review that went against us in the last inning. They didn't review whether which would be a foul ball. They challenged whether Lee was safe at home, which, well, he was out. We all saw that. Line drive towards short on a hop by Poyeto. Fields and fires a little bit low, but it's corralled by Rodriguez for out number 1.
See, that's odd, too, because a lot of times when you review a play like that, just because you call for review for the score doesn't mean that they can't see the same play and rule it a foul ball. We've seen that happen a couple of times. A lot of times it happens on a running play where you might think your runner's safe, and in reality a different call is made in regards to obstruction, whether it be on the runner or the fielder. It's definitely an odd one, and you got to feel like you got hosed.
One of the way in the inning. First pitch slider strike to Harrison Feinberg. He has the only RBI for Northeastern of the game. A sac fly back in the first, plating Ryan Garrity. Other than that, he's walked and was stranded on second. Second pitch low, 1-1 to Feinberg. Statistically, the best hitter that Northeastern has at .371 with 18 home runs. Swing and a miss. Add a curveball down, and it's 1-2. Well, the Wildcats, deservedly so, probably, have tied the game at 1. And we're in the top of the 6th with 1 down. The 1-2 pitch to Feinberg. Upstairs, 2-2. But really, you talk about missing that opportunity. Leaving runners on the pond again. 2-2. Slider into the dirt. 3-2 on Feinberg. Feinberg is one of only 2 batters that Sanchez walked, both of them in that 3rd inning. 3-2. Line drive, base hit, left center field. That one's going to gap to the wall. Feinberg races towards second. Here comes the throw. It's going to be a close play, and he's in there just ahead of the throw. And a 1-out double for Harrison Feinberg. It's the first hit for Northeastern since the 1st inning, and the first base runner for Northeastern since Feinberg in the 3rd.
Yeah, Sanchez going to have to work out a little bit of trouble. Northeastern finally putting a good swing on the ball. They hit some hard contact at times, but really a lot of it had been early in counts. A lot of it had been right at guys. That's the first one that's found grass in a minute, but Sanchez has been one of the best on this BCU staff of working with guys on.
Here's Jack Goodman. Doubled to right center in the 1st, popped out on the infield in the 3rd, his 2 at-bats. He's got Feinberg at second after a 1-out double here in the top of the 6th after the Wildcats came back to tie the game in the bottom of the 5th. Sanchez deals. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball. That breaking ball has been nasty from Edwin Sanchez, both the slider and the curve. Northeastern has not known what to do with it. It's really the fastball where Sanchez has had trouble. 0-1. In the dirt. 1-1. Northeastern comes in 48-10. Won the Coastal Athletic Association with a record of 25-2 in the CAA. And swept through the tournament without dropping a game. 1-1. Spin it a throw back to second. That's close, but back in is Goodman. The Wildcats have already made 2 errors on throws back to second in the ballgame.
That's nearly a perfect throw, and even still you see how difficult it is with Goodman sliding in. That very easily could have hit off of his arm and sailed back out into center field, and then you're talking about a potential sac fly opportunity again.
1-1 to Goodman. Here's the pitch. Outside, almost looked like a pitch out, expecting a run. And it's 2-1. Their only 2 conference losses were to 1 game to Towson.
The team that lost to UMES, by the way.
Yeah. Line drive, foul, third base side.
Then winless UMES, by the way.
At then point, winless UMES, yes. And their other conference loss was to Campbell in Boys Creek, North Carolina. And after that loss, they won 27 straight to close the season. 2-2. Sanchez to Goodman. Throw back to second again. And the runner is in there safely, Feinberg.
I really just don't like the throwovers.
Every time.
With 2 strikes on the batter, just get the batter.
I'm crossing my fingers every time they throw back over that.
As you should.
2-2. Swinging a foul back to the screen. He went fastball inside. Count holds. Edwin Sanchez up to 77. Well, correction, that's Gottesman. Edwin Sanchez up to 80 pitches. This will be 81. Low, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Sanchez to this point, a run on 3 hits with 6 Ks and 2 walks. The 3-2 to Goodman. Line drive, base hit left field, gets between Poyeto and Martinez. Here's the throw to the plate. It is not in time, and it's 2-1 Northeastern. Double, and the Huskies are right back on top.
Well, you don't win 27 straight. You don't win 48 games without a good bit of timely hitting. And while, the Wildcats can brag all they want about putting all these runners on and out-hitting opponents in 2 straight games, if you can't do it when there's guys on, it doesn't get you a whole lot. All it takes is 2 back-to-back pair of hits for Northeastern, and you're right back in front.
And that's when the miscommunications, the runners left on by the Wildcats really come back to hurt you. We could have 5 runs right now or more. But
Absolutely.
the 1 for 15 with runners in scoring position.
Absolutely.
Over the weekend is really coming back to haunt you.
Yep, we're going to have a chat with Sanchez. Again, the first little bit of adversity he's faced since all the way back in the first. And he's been really everything you need. I expect the bullpen to start getting going. I see a couple of arms down there. Looks like Hasmin is warming, but really, it hasn't looked terrible at any point. Northeastern's hit the ball hard, but they haven't hit the ball in play a ton. It's another day, right, where even with Corey yesterday, you feel like the bats are the ones who kind of let you down a little bit. Plenty of game left, though, and we know that a lot of times for this Wildcats team, all it takes is being able to bat last.
Coming up next is the righty Carmelo Musakia. On the year, Edwin Sanchez has allowed a .255 batting average to righties and a .241 to lefties. With runners on base, he's allowed a .237. (2-1) Northeastern on 2 doubles back-to-back by Feinberg and Goodman. And here's Musakia, who's 0 for 2 strikeout fly out to left. Sanchez may be reaching the end of his rope, up over 80 pitches here in the 6th. Kind of half-hearted throw back to second as Goodman was standing on the base, didn't even take a lead. But that means there's a big hole on the first base side because Venegas, the second baseman, is holding Goodman on. Pitch, runner goes, and will retreat back to second after going halfway. The pitch was inside. Musakia squared to bunt and pulled it back. The count is a ball and no strikes. That was odd. He looked like he was fully committed to third, then stopped and turned around.
Yeah, I don't know if he was trying to bait a throw or if he maybe missed a sign and picked it up a couple steps into the run.
1-0, runner goes. There's the bunt, popped up behind the plate, and it's a diving attempt by Escobar. He just can't come up with it.
Just about a foot out of his range, but man, he gave it everything he had.
Ooh,
Can't
really
get on it any
close.
quicker than that.
Talk about guys that are playing their final collegiate game today. Irvin Escobar, he's one of them. Yoancel Diaz, another one that's given 5 years to this program. But a lot of these guys will have eligibility left, even though they are seniors.
Who those are, what waivers get approved, don't get approved, we'll wait and see. Even a guy like Manny Sufrain, right, we talked about might attempt to apply for some sort of waiver, but nowadays there's really no telling who gets approved and what works and what doesn't.
The 1-1 to Musakia. Fastball strike outside corner. And it's 1-2. 2-1 Northeastern. A run in the first and a run here in the 6th on back-to-back doubles by Harrison Feinberg and Jack Goodman, who stands on second. The 1-2 from Sanchez to Musakia. Swing and a miss. He made him look silly on that curveball that dove into the dirt and almost brushed the top of the plate.
That's another one right there where Sanchez just not a guy who pitches with a ton of emotion all the time, right? Doesn't even give you much of a celebration there. Very business, very professional in what he does. Kicks up some dirt in front of the mound and just gets right back in his spot, ready to throw again.
Now it's the designated hitter, Matt Brinker, who's 0 for 2. Ground out to third, fly out to right. First pitch in the dirt, ball one. Good job by Escobar to corral it and keep the runner on second. The winner of this game stays alive, plays tomorrow afternoon against the loser of Florida State and Mississippi State. And the loser of this one's season is done. The 1-0 fouled away to the first base side on a little dribbler. And it's 1-1. The Wildcats fighting against history. They have never won a game in this ballpark, either against Florida State or in a regional here. This is their 6th trip to the Tallahassee Regional. They were 0-10 coming in, now 0-11 after their loss last night in Tallahassee Regionals. Fly ball down the left field line and deep. Back goes Lee. That's going to stay in the yard. Lee has it to end the inning. A run on 2 hits and 1 left. Northeastern jumps back on top after 6.5. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Wildcats 1, Northeastern Huskies 2. This is Bethune-Cookman University Baseball on the CatEye Radio Network and 1380 WELE. To the bottom of the 6th we go. Northeastern has retaken the lead with 1 run in the top of the inning. It is 2-1 Huskies over Wildcats here in the elimination game in Tallahassee. There's a new pitcher on the mound for Northeastern. Let's say hello to the junior out of Milton, Massachusetts, Charlie Walker. Walker, a 1.18 ERA. 15 appearances, no starts. He's 3-0 with 7 saves. So here is their closer. 45 2/3 innings pitched. He's allowed 7 runs on 27 hits, 6 earned, striking out 51 and walking 5. He's allowed 4 doubles, no triples, 3 homers, has thrown no wild pitches, has hit 4 batters. Once again, he's ERA 1.18.
That strikeout to walk is unbelievable, especially compared to what we're used to, right? We are lucky to see one in the SWAC that is 50-50, right? That you're walking 5 to 5 strikeouts or you're a little bit ahead. I mean, this guy is an absolute sniper when it comes to picking his spots.
And it'll be Jesus Venegas, who's 0 for 2 with a pop-up and a strikeout to lead off against him. And he swings and misses at the first pitch. It's an off-speeder at 80 miles an hour at the knees. Venegas way ahead of it. Interesting you go to the change first. But I'm guessing that's on the scouting report that Venegas likes to swing at the first pitch. Now the 0-1. Swing and a miss again. Down at 79. Another off-speed away.
Venegas just does not make it easy on himself.
0-2 on Venegas, who is 0 for his last 14. 0-2. Make it 0 for his last 15. 3 pitches, 3 really bad swings on 3 changeups. That one the slowest one yet, down at 78 miles an hour. The last time Venegas got a hit was in the first round of the SWAC tournament against Texas Southern.
And even just the body language now doesn't look good, right? Again, I said it sucks that you're this late in the season, right? And it's not a time and not an opportunity where you can give him a couple days or even just a day of a breather, because he really needs it. He just cannot find much at the plate right now.
Well, here's Jeter Poyeto, a man who's finding everything at the plate. He's 2 for 2, a double and a single, and has been stranded on third twice. First pitch to him. Finally, a fastball at 89 is called ball 1, low and away. From Charlie Walker, the new pitcher for Northeastern. His ERA down at 118. The 1-0 to Poyeto. Jeter puts it in the air down the first base line. That'll go foul into the bleachers, and it's 1-1. You're talking about 10-plus mile-an-hour drop-off from fastball to changeup, and those are the only pitches we've seen so far out of Walker. 1-1 to Poyeto. Jeter, ground ball towards third, fielded in foul territory over the base by Doyle. That was very close. And I would have given Poyeto a chance to beat that out because it was a slow hopper down the third base line.
Poyeto has been all over that left field line today, just hammering everything right down the line.
Well, watch out for that change now with 2 strikes.
Yep.
Wouldn't be surprised, something in the high 70s here from Charlie Walker. Poyeto will stand back in. That's the first time we've seen a breaking ball, and it's way outside, a slider that dove into the opposite batter's box, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, ridiculous amount of run on that pitch.
If he locates that, whew.
I'm sure it was an attempt to be a waste, right? I mean, the first time you've seen it, just trying to get him to whiff at it.
2-2. Poyeto off the heel of Walker. It goes up the middle, fielded by the second baseman, Mucasia, and he throws out Poyeto by half a step 2 away.
That's an unlucky break. I mean, if that's not off the foot, that's probably up near the second base bag. Might hit off the bag. Still a chance that the play is made, especially by the shortstop, but just a tough little break there.
This is a guy in Charlie Walker who averages between 30 and 50 pitches, mostly in the 30s in each attempt. Big cut and miss first pitch by Irvin Escobar, 0-1. So if you can weather the storm and get him out of there and try and face another arm, you might have a chance later in this game. 2 outs and fouled away by Escobar to the right-hand side, 0-2. But again, you see a number like 118 ERA, 51 strikeouts in 45 innings. It's a little intimidating.
Yep.
Oh-2. Fastball outside. The Northeastern fans thought that was strike 3, but it was well off the plate, 1-2. Last year at Northeastern, he's a junior at 3rd season for the Huskies. 4.98 ERA for Walker. Off the end of the bat into the right field sky. Moving over and making the catches. Garrity down the line. 1-2-3 go the Cats for the first time since the first inning. And we go to the 7th. 2-1 Northeastern. It's getting late early for the Wildcats here on the CatEye Radio Network at 1380 WELE. To the 7th inning we go. 2-1 Northeastern here in this elimination game of the Tallahassee Regional, part of the NCAA Baseball Championship here in 2025. Edwin Sanchez, who's thrown 94 pitches on the day, is going to start the 7th, but he's done great. 7 Ks, walked 2, allowed 2 runs on 4 hits, has really given the Wildcats every chance to be in this game. But again, Bethune-Cookman, when it's mattered most, the bats have gone silent outside of a couple of places. And if you get out of this tournament with the high-octane offense that you've had all season, scoring 3 runs in 2 games, you know what went wrong.
Yep.
First pitch, high pop fly, right field by Alex Lane, the first baseman. That's going to be easy pickings for Sergio Rivera, 1 out.
That's where it's been, man. Northeastern, again, the bats haven't done a whole lot to inspire you. They've just done enough, right? Just the 4 hits. They've stranded 4, but a lot of it's looked like that, which is a lot of when the Wildcats have found themselves in ruts throughout the year. It's looked like that, right? Another early and count, easy fly ball.
Here's Gregory Bozzo, who's 0 for 2. The bottom 5 in the Northeastern order are 0 for 13 today. First pitch, breaking ball, strike called inside corner. 0 for 13. It's really been only 3 guys that have beaten you: Garrity, Feinberg, and Goodman. Ground ball towards second, right at Venegas. That'll be out number 2.
Just motoring on through. We thought the Wildcats were going to have to potentially get in the bullpen early, or at the very least be ready to go at any point, just with it being that elimination game. But Sanchez has made it look really easy. He's been calm the whole time.
Well, after Joel Corre threw 120 pitches, or 118, or however much he did yesterday, I overheard the ESPN guys talking this morning about what a Herculean effort that was.
Yep.
Sanchez, first pitch strike down the middle to Jack Doyle. Doyle 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts looking. 2 of the 7 Ks that Edwin Sanchez has delivered this afternoon. That one in the dirt and actually got away from Escobar and dribbles to the backstop. That's 100 pitches for Edwin Sanchez. Back-to-back days with your starter going 100+. 1-1. Fouled away, 1-2. And it hasn't been the Carson Kelly factor, right? Where you just leave a guy out there because you got nobody behind you. They're leaving the guys out there because they're doing a great job.
Yep. Wildcats better equipped than anybody else in the SWAC to represent on the pitching side. No doubt about that.
1-2. Fastball low. Just missed the zone. 2-2 on Doyle. Wildcats coming into this season 37-22. Doyle fouls it back, count holds 2-2. Just 2 wins shy of the all-time program record of 39 wins. And you think about a couple of those midweekers where you got walked off: USF, Jacksonville, UNF. Ground ball towards third. Martinez sliding stop. Throw across the diamond. And the scoop is not there by Rodriguez. It pops out of his glove. Oh, just that close to getting out of the inning. Great play by Martinez to throw just a little bit low in front of Rodriguez, and he couldn't complete the scoop.
It's a tough one. Not the toughest scoop over there at first. Certainly not easy by any means, but Martinez really gave him a chance, and that's all you can do at third, right? When you have to gather yourself that much to even make the play. When he goes down to one knee, especially for a guy that's cramped on earlier in this game, playing loose right there, just can't quite come up with the scoop, does Rodriguez on the other end.
They have not put either a hit or an error on the board yet. I'm tempted to give that a hit.
I think it'll go in as a hit.
They just put the hit up on the board, so 5 hits now for Northeastern. Still 2 outs, though, but top of the order, Ryan Garrity. He's been one of the danger men for Northeastern. Doubled and scored in the first. Walked in the third and grounded out to short in the 5th. He's got Jack Doyle on first with 2 outs here in the 7th. Sanchez pitch number 101. We'll have to wait as he throws over to first, and the ball gets away into right field. The 3rd pickoff error for Edwin Sanchez in the ball game. And there's now a runner in scoring position with 2 down.
Well, if you let it bite you here again, there's 2 outs, right? So you still very well have it within your means to escape unscathed and let it not matter. But that's just another opportunity to, when this game wraps up, if it does not go your way, you can very easily say, hey, there's where the change was, right? Those pickoff attempts, that was the difference in the first and now all the way down here in the 7th.
You look at the 3 errors for the Wildcats on the board, right? You think, oh, man, the defense must not have been that great. No, the defense has been great.
Yep.
The only thing that's wrong has been the pickoffs. Big sweeper cut on and missed by Garrity, and it's 0-1. Garrity, the only lefty in the starting lineup for Northeastern today. Everybody else a right-hand hitter. Sanchez's 0-1 is down and away, ball 1. And now you're in real danger, right? Because you've got Jack Doyle on second. Everybody on this team has the speed to get home on a line drive. Slider just missed away. 2 balls, 1 strike to Garrity. Can Edwin Sanchez gut out 1 more out and maybe turn it over to the bullpen with the Wildcats still in touching distance at 2-1? The pitch. Ground ball, first base side, fielded by Rodriguez on a big hop, and he steps on the bag. No runs, a hit, and 1 left with an error. And the Wildcats go to the bottom of the 7, down 2-1 here on the CatEye Radio Network and 1380 WELE. We have a pinch hitter to lead off the 7th inning for Bethune-Cookman. Jorge Gonzalez-Febo, 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts. The DH experiment definitely not working, but it's not who you'd expect to see coming out. It's the sophomore, Michael Rodriguez.
Definitely an interesting call, shying away from Armani Newton, Ray Placencia, guys who've seen at-bats in this postseason. First time up for Michael Rodriguez, and again, we're talking about 3 or 4 weeks.
First pitch inside and low to the lefty Rodriguez against the right-hander Charlie Walker, who got the Wildcats to go 1-2-3 back in the 6th. 1-0. Ground ball, first base side. What a diving stop behind the bag by Lane. He'll throw to the covering Walker. Oh, my goodness. Well, the Wildcats have been victims of some excellent defense this weekend, both by Florida State and by Northeastern. That might have been the best play of the ball.
Yep, I mean, unbelievable. Luckily, it's on his hand side, so he's kind of down there to get it on the knee. But you know when you get to these kind of games, right, you're not going to be able to steal runs defensively. It's really going to go the other way. Michael Rodriguez, a good bat on ball, right, a good piece of contact, really right where you want that ball to go. Just got a little bit better of him on defense.
Now here's Sergio Rivera. First pitch, strike called inside corner. Rivera 0 for 2. Flied out to center field on a really good hit, but hit to the deepest part of the park. And then popped up on the infield in the 5th. Rivera swing and a miss at a changeup on the outside corner down at 79. He's down 0-2. Charlie Walker comes from a really athletic family. Both parents track and field athletes. As that one's in the dirt, Bozzo scrambles to pick it up. Father threw hammer at Rhode Island. Mom threw javelin at Boston University. And his brother, Max, played baseball at UMass Lowell. 1-2. Way outside again, over-rotated on the fastball, and it's 2-2 on Sergio Rivera. Charlie Walker, the junior, all 3 of his seasons with the Northeastern Huskies. 2-2 to Rivera. And Sergio swings and misses at a fastball down and away, strike 3.
Yeah, Walker's going to cruise if you let him. Really your best strategy to get back into this game, you mentioned it last inning, is to try to work counts, try to get Walker out of the game. He's just filthy, man. You might not have seen an arm of his quality, certainly in the last month plus, but maybe not all year.
Walker just 17 pitches to get 5 outs, and now here's Daniel Figueroa, who moves from batting right to batting left against the righty Walker. First pitch down low. Figueroa doubled in the third, was hit by a pitch and scored the only Wildcat run of the game back in the 5th on an RBI double by Andre Martinez. The 1-0. Laced, but foul, first base side into the bleachers. And that ball is in play. Somebody's going to have to go down there. The ball girl, back girl, goes down there, down the first baseline and gets it. That is hard as contact as anybody's hit off Walker yet. Just went foul. 1-1. Figueroa swinging a miss at a changeup down low. It's the changeup that really is killing us because it's a 15-mile-an-hour difference between the fastball and the change. Fastball running in the low 90s, changeup in the high 70s. 1-2. Swing and a miss at the changeup again, and 1-2-3 go the Wildcats. Since Walker has come on, 20 pitches, 3 strikeouts, 6 straight batters set down. We go to the 8th, 2-1 Northeastern here on the CatEye Radio Network at 1380 WELE. Back in Tallahassee, we go to the 8th inning, and a new pitcher on the hill for the Wildcats. Carlos Jasmin, the righty, will come in to face Cam Maldonado as he fouls one away first pitch. Jasmin, the sophomore out of Puerto Rico. A 4.94 ERA on the year, 27 innings pitched. He's allowed 21 runs on 22 hits, 15 earned. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, strike, right down the middle, 0-2. Striking out 24 and walking 22. He's allowed 3 doubles, no triples, 3 homers, thrown 6 wild pitches and hit 8 batters. But has been really good the last 4 weeks or so, Bryce. He was the first man out of the bullpen pretty much throughout the entire SWAC tournament and has calmed down on some of that wildness we saw both early in the year and his freshman year.
His development really has been outstanding, right? The stuff has gotten better. The control has gotten leaps and bounds better.
Line drive towards Venegas at second. He'll field it on a hop and throw to first to get the really speedy Maldonado by half a step. And there's one away.
Really, Jasmin is a guy that they believe can play at the next level. And he really started to show you signs, even last year at times, right? The velo, the stuff, but the even adjustment from year 1 to year 2 under pitching coach Joel Sanchez has been incredible. I mean, very similar to what we saw in Yoancel Diaz, right? And he came from a guy that couldn't crack the bullpen if you tried, even in a blowout, to #1 out of the pen.
Here's Harrison Feinberg. That one spiked to the plate on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, a ball and no strikes. Feinberg 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored and an RBI. Had an RBI sac fly in the first, walked in the third, doubled and scored in the sixth. So he is responsible for both Northeastern runs, an RBI and a run scored. And the guy behind him, Jack Goodman, has been really good as well. 2 balls, no strikes after Jasmin missed with a breaking ball. Here's the pitch. Spiked again, 3 balls, no strikes. Just after we praised him for maybe toning down on some of the wildness issues, 3 really non-competitive pitches, and it's a 3-0 count.
Part of the Jasmin experience is they've learned to live with runners on base when he's out there, right? He's got stuff uniquely positions him to get out of just about any situation.
3-0, ball 4. 4 really bad ones. That one was in the opposite batter's box.
It's not to say that throughout this, outburst for him that he hasn't had his fair share of at-bats that look like that, right? He still puts guys on, right? His whip isn't probably going to be the prettiest in terms of guys on this pitching staff. But, man, when he is on and when he's hitting his spots, there's really hardly anybody better, especially in the SWAC, but definitely in this bullpen.
That's walks and hits per innings pitched, for those of you less statistically inclined. Now it's Jack Goodman, who's been the best batter for Northeastern today. 2 for 3, 2 doubles and an RBI. Fastball away, ball 1. 5 straight balls for Jasmin. Feinberg on first after a 1-out walk here in the 8th. Northeastern leads 2-1. Shakes off a pitch, 5 seconds on the pitch clock. Now he'll deal with 3, with 2, with 1. He barely gets the pitch away and comes inside. And it's a 6th straight ball, 2-0 on Goodman. He's taking a long time between pitches. And that's not helping him because he's really rushed at the back end of that pitch clock. He's come set with 5 seconds left. Pick off to first. Back in is Feinberg. Feinberg leads this team in stolen bases with 36 out of 39 on the year. Again, this Northeastern team, second of the country in steals at 192, only trailing the 209 by Virginia Military Academy. Runner goes, throw down to second, is in time, and he's out. Immediately calling for a review is Feinberg. I thought he got his foot in there in real time. The out call came from second base umpire Joe Burleson, and we're going to get a challenge here immediately. Harrison Feinberg called for the review, and I think he might be right.
I don't disagree with you. I thought maybe the best chance they had was he almost stumbled off the bag after he got up. Maybe the tag stayed applied by Venegas, and he came foot off the bag, but I'm with you in real time. It did look like he was safe and an easy choice to go to review here this late in the game for Northeastern, because that's a potentially big swing.
Yeah. It's a difference between 2 outs, nobody on, to 1 out runner in scoring position. Big review coming up here. And he is, well, that's closer than I initially thought. That first angle that they showed on the replay doesn't really definitively say it. He
And if
did
you-
come off the bag, but Venegas didn't continue the tag.
If you want to talk about fundamentals, right, there's another one. I mean, in the
This
game
view should
nowadays,
tell us more. Well, that one he looks out. From the first angle, he looks safe. From the second angle, he looks out.
well, perhaps the old inconclusive will.
Because there's the tag, and then there's the foot.
Yep. Old inconclusive may do us another favor here.
Well, the Wildcats are 0 for 2, and on really
Shocked me
bad
if it's 0 for
reviews
3 either.
This weekend. My goodness, I mean, the one earlier today with the foul or not foul was ridiculous. It clearly
was.
hit his foot. The one yesterday with Poyeto trying to lean back out of the way, and it hit him on the arm guard. Now, to see from that view that they just showed, he looks safe. From the view from center field, he looks safe. From the view from home plate, he looks out.
Talk about fundamentals. Venegas got to keep that tag applied. I mean, that's an easy call if you just keep the glove on it because he came way off the bag. And Venegas too busy trying to show the official he's got the ball and takes the glove off. Got to keep that tag applied. How many times do we see? I mean, you kind of laugh at it. It's a silly call. It should be safe. He came off the bag, but he beat it anyway. But no, we see that call made all the time.
There is no BC without you. Show your support for Bethune-Cookman Athletics by joining the Wildcat Champions Club today. Help us build a championship culture here at Bethune-Cookman. You can donate and join at bcuathletics.com/champions club today. That's bcuathletics.com/champions club. So no matter when the Wildcats go home, it's going to be some well-deserved R&R for those of us here at Sports Information that have been going pretty much nonstop for 10 months.
Yeah, listen, that's how we like it, right? That's what you sign up for when you do this. The last couple months of, the success, it gives you some longer nights, some longer weeks, some fewer days off, but, I mean, that's the way we take it, right? I mean, we all could have easily been sitting out at the beach today or doing whatever else and taking some relaxation time, but I speak for everybody in our booth, in our department, that said we would all rather be here right now doing this. I mean, it's been an incredible run. It's been an incredible finish. And this is the first time, right, that we've done this. We've had what could be a final call, right? We don't have to sit here and talk about, well, who's going to get that first one, right? Where do we go from here next year? Where do we do all that? You got one, and the future looks bright.
Here's the call from the umpires.
After review, the call at second stands.
Got him. And it stands not confirmed. So
Right.
I think it's the good old inconclusive.
Does us a favor here.
So it caught stealing. Feinberg can't get to second. And now there's 2 outs, nobody on. And the count to Jack Goodman is not on the scoreboard. I have forgotten what the count is. I'll wait till they put it back up there. Goodman stands back in, righty to righty. Hasmin maybe getting some benefits from his defense. It's a 3-ball, no-strike count and a ball 4. Well, now it's really impactful because you put another guy on with a walk in Goodman. And here's Carmelo Masakia coming up to the plate, who's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a fly out to left. Hasmin does not look comfortable since he came on. And yes, he induced weak contact for the ground ball. That was good. But then walk on 8 straight pitches.
It's the first time we've seen him look like this, right? Since maybe the end of the regular season.
Lots of pressure, though. Lots of pressure on the young man's shoulders. Just a sophomore, Carlos Hasmin. Breaking ball, a 9th straight ball inside. I would not be surprised if that's the end, and there's a quick trigger here. Because there definitely are arms warming up in the Wildcat bullpen. Do I see Yo-Yo down there?
Yeah, it's Yo-Yo. I think there might be a second, but it's definitely Yo-Yo who is warm at this point, just waiting on the call in. But no coach coming out.
I just saw Mississippi State's bus pull in. They'll play next against Florida State in the 1-0 game. The winner moves to the regional final. The loser has to battle back tomorrow against the winner of this game.
The game doesn't start till 6, so they got a little bit of a wait. It's not that quick turnaround like it was yesterday with all the weather.
Hasmin's going to stay in there after throwing 9 straight balls and walking 2 and got the benefit of a caught stealing. There are 2 outs in the 8th. The Wildcats are down 2-1. The batter is Carmelo Musakia. The count is a ball and no strikes. Pitch fouled away, and that's the first pitch that's not a ball in the last 9.
Maybe that one was a little close, down and in. Might cut all the way down, away from that strike zone.
1 ball, 1 strike now on Misaki, but maybe just seeing that 1 in the strike column give Hasmi a little bit of confidence here. He deals. Breaking ball, chop foul into the Northeastern dugout. 1-2. And you don't have to put him away here. All you got to do, ground ball, soft fly out, that'll do the job. But Hasmi, of course, his strikeout stuff, when it's on, has looked some of the best of the SWAC. Maybe potential SWAC reliever of the year material loading for the next couple of years for Hasmi if he sticks around. Want to go swing and a miss! Applying the tag is Escobar, and Hasmi went for the big old 12-6 curve and got the punch out. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Wildcats still in touching distance, down 2-1 here on the CatEye Radio Network and 1380 WELE. Wildcats just 6 outs away from the end of their season, down 2-1 here in the bottom of the 8th against the Northeastern Huskies here at the 2025 Tallahassee Regional Championship. Is there still magic in these Bethune-Cookman bats against maybe the best pitcher they've seen all year anywhere in Charlie Walker?
Well, you've had a good handful of the lineup have seen him now, right? And this Wildcats team, we've given them credit so much all year for being able to adapt. Well, you've gotten a chance to see it. You kind of understand the offering, as disgusting as it is, as hard to balance, to predict, to make contact with. It's not going to be easy. But you've seen him, right? And top of the lineup up, you got the whole thing in front of you. You're going to see your top 6 get a chance to bat. You're going to have a shot.
Darrell Lee will lead off. It's the top of the order for the Wildcats. Since Walker has come in the 6th, he's thrown 21 pitches, 6 up, 6 down, 3 Ks. First pitch to Lee, swinging a line drive foul outside of first. And the one that was almost the hit off of Michael Rodriguez was down that first base line with a great snag by Lane behind the bag. 0-1 on Lee. Lee, Martinez, and Rodriguez, the only 3 that have not seen Charlie Walker yet. The righty deals. There's that slow breaking ball outside, and it's 0-2, called strike 2. Now Lee got to protect here. I'd expect changeup here from Walker. Pitch. Throws curveball, 12-6, misses outside, 1-2. That's only the second or third time he's thrown that curve. And we've only seen the slider once. Primarily, fastball, changeup pitcher. Goes with the change, and Lee dribbles it foul. The changeup is the dangerous pitch, though, because if you hang it and the batter can time it up, that's the one that could leave the yard.
Yeah, that slider and curve have really just been mixed in as almost kind of waste pitches to righties and lefties, really, just trying to show you something different and induce that swing that way.
The 1-2 to Lee. Ground ball towards first, foul, right over the bag, and it's 1-2 again. And really nobody of the first 6 batters that Walker has faced has even done this to Walker. Battled him off, fouled a couple away, stayed in these counts. For the third time, we'll do the 1-2. Fouled back to the screen, and we'll see a 1-2 for the fourth time. But his put-away pitch is definitely the change. He went to it again there on the outside corner, and Lee out ahead of it, just got the tip of the bat on it. For the fourth time in the AB, the 1-2. Lee in the air to center field and deep, chasing back Maldonado. He isn't going to get there. It's over his head and off the wall. Lee digging for second. He's in there with a leadoff stand-up double. And the tying run is on second with nobody out.
That ball had an interesting flight to it, man. It looked like it was going dead out the center and a couple steps over for the center fielder out there to track it down, but it had a late cut to it. Almost like a slider, right? And it dips down into right center field. Nowhere anybody can get it. That ball was hammered. That's one of the hardest hit balls of the day. And here we go again, right? You're going to get your chance, right? Baseball has its way of putting you in the spots that you have not yet succeeded in. You're going to have a chance to tie this or go ahead in this game. And the guy you want up at the plate is up, right?
Andre Martinez, 1 for 3, an RBI double in the fifth. Came up limping with a cramp after hitting that double, but stayed in the game. And this is potentially the last at-bat of the season for Andre Martinez. A season that has been so magical, so memorable, capped by one of the best moments in BCU baseball history with the walk-off home run to win the SWAC tournament. Is there more magic in the bat of number 36? The first pitch from Charlie Walker is a spin to throw back to second. If I'm Darrell Lee, I'm staying real close to that bag.
Yep.
I'm not even going to risk it. I'm not going to try and steal. Even if on a fly ball, I might not even tag.
Yep.
You've got to be smart here on the base paths. First pitch, Martinez, line drive, base hit left field. Lee didn't get a great jump. He's going to have to hold at third.
I don't even think if he gets a great jump, he's going all the way. That ball was hammered again. 2 back-to-back hits. This is the kind of little bit of cracking that you haven't seen yet from the guy on the mound. Wildcats.
Runners on the corners. Nobody out. Wildcats down by 1. Jorge Rodriguez, who's 0 for 3. Flied out to left, flied out to center, and was tagged out by the catcher on that weird play that he thought was foul that hit his foot so he didn't run to first.
Righty in the pen for Northeastern. Brett Dunham is just starting to throw down there.
I was told by the Northeastern radio guys over in the booth next to us that Dunham would be one of the guys that would be likely to throw out the pen for them.
Yep.
They did not mention Walker. Maybe there's a reason.
Man, but how many times have we seen with this Wildcats team that when all looks bleak, right, offensively, it really does just take that one hard hit ball, that one base hit, that one ringing double, and everybody kind of jumps in line now. And the further you get, now you're going to start to see, you got to get through Rodriguez. You got a couple to get to him. But now you might have an opportunity. If Poyeto can get to the plate, a guy who's seen the ball better than anybody else, you'll get a chance to make right on moving him up in that order.
Is it bad that the first place my mind went is suicide squeeze, just try and get him home to tie the game?
It's a risky play. This Wildcats team has been gutsy before.
But with one of your most consistent bats in Jorge Rodriguez at the plate, I would not risk it.
Right.
Here's the first pitch. In the air, left field. That's going back towards the track. Feinberg makes the catch at the wall. Here comes Lee. They're not even going to try and get him at home, and we're tied at 2. RBI sac fly for Jorge Rodriguez.
And what did we call for all game, right, is you got to put base runners on early in these innings, right? A lot of the threats have been late. They've been with 1 out. They've been with 2 outs. You put a guy on early and good things happen. That's easy textbook sacrifice fly. And now this looks like a whole different ballgame.
1 away. Martinez on first. The matter is Jesus Venegas. He's had a rough game. He's had a rough couple of weeks. 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. But a chance to change the narrative here. Spin and a throw back to first. Andre Martinez dives back in. It was a tough catch over at first for Lane, the first baseman, who had to reach down and kind of tiptoe over Martinez to prevent it from getting away. Even if it does get away, I'm not sure Martinez goes to second. Probably only ahead of Jorge Rodriguez for the slowest guy on the team.
Yep.
The first pitch to Venegas. Swing and a miss ahead of the changeup. I can't see him throwing anything but the changeup to Venegas, who missed it so badly 3 straight times his first time up against him. He was the first bounder to face Walker back in the 6th. Tied at 2, bottom 8, 1 out. Venegas swinging and missing the changeup again. And Derek CatEye is going to come out and talk to him.
Yeah, I think you have to. Just has not looked competitive at the plate. Just clearly needs a reset and a much-needed meeting here. You don't get the benefit of being super patient when you're down 0-2 in a count. But Venegas is going to have to find a way.
Support the Wildcats like never before. Bethune-Cookman Athletics has partnered with Influxer to provide you officially licensed, co-branded NIL merchandise featuring your favorite players' names and numbers. Proceeds from each purchase directly support Wildcat student athletes. Show your support for your favorite Wildcats today at bcuathletics.com/NIL merch. 2-2 game in the bottom of the 8th. Andre Martinez, the go-ahead run on first. Jesus Venegas in the box down 0-2 against Charlie Walker after a consultation with Coach CatEye. Here's the pitch. Fastball, strike 3, down the middle. Jesus Venegas, man. 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts, that one looking. And there's 2 outs in the inning, and here's Gito Poyeto.
Well, Poyeto's been the hot bat, right? He's seen the ball well every time. He's loved that left field line. He's hit the ball hard every time he's made contact. It's a big spot for him to keep the rally going.
Poyeto doubled down the left field line to the 2nd, singled left in the 4th, and then grounded out to 2nd in the 6th. But go-ahead run on first is Andre Martinez. First pitch, righty to righty. Walker to Poyeto. Fastball, strike outside corner at 89 miles an hour. I think maybe the most important thing in this game right now is the Wildcats are going to get to bat last.
Yep.
Poyeto swinging a miss at a pitch that had to be dove to save it from the backstop by Boswell. That was maybe the worst swing of Poyeto's season.
He cracks a smile after that. He knew that one.
Oh, boy. Way outside. But a strike away from getting out of the inning is Walker and preserving the tie game at 2. Walker from the stretch, throws to first. Martinez dives back in, and he's safe barely.
His first jump was towards 2nd. I thought he was dead to rights, but just manages to get back in. Fortunately, not a guy that takes a huge lead.
And the throw wasn't perfect. It was glove side and not body side over to first by Walker. Walker also a right-hand pitcher, so he needs to take a little bit more time to get that ball over there. The pitch. Poyeto watches it. Martinez goes to 2nd on a steal. He is safe as the ball is wide by Bozzo, and Muskakia didn't come up with it. That is maybe the gutsiest move I've seen.
Well, and part of it, I think, is just as equally as now you put Poyeto in a spot where he could potentially score a run here.
He'd have to really gap it to score Martinez.
I also think, though, you like Poyeto leading off the next inning, right? If he's out and when he's down in the count, right? You just take the gamble. It's not the worst deal in the world.
Now Martinez on 2nd. The 1-2 to Poyeto. Walker deals. Way outside. 2-2. Walker feeling it a little bit in this inning, up to 33 pitches. Remember, his average is around 35 per appearance. He might be at the end of his rope.
I don't think we see him next inning.
The 2-2 to Poyeto with 2 outs. Outside and low, missed with the change. 3-2. And the misses in this at-bat from Walker have not been close. And even the one that, Poyeto should be standing on first right now if he didn't swing at that one way outside. The 3-2 pitch coming. From the stretch, ball in the glove, Charlie Walker, the junior, will fire. Swinging a chopper foul, third base side. He went with the change, and Poyeto was a little bit ahead of it, but managed to get a piece of it on the ball.
What a great at-bat. This is a kid in Poyeto who couldn't hack his way out of a paper bag to start the season, right? Looked completely overmatched. Looked like a guy who had ridden the bench for an entire year, his true freshman season. And he's turned into a complete force at the plate, right? This is a top-of-the-order bat heading into next year, no doubt in my mind.
Poyeto takes a timeout, steps out of the box, stands back in. This righty-to-righty matchup, the crimson and black against the maroon and gold. The 3-2 Walker winds and fires. Swing and a miss, strike 3. It was a fastball low and away, would have been ball 4. Poyeto trying to protect. 1 run on 2 hits for the Wildcats. They tie the game, and we go to the 9th, tied at 2 here on the CatEye Radio Network and 1380 WELE. To the 9th, 2-2 between the Wildcats and the Northeastern Huskies here in Tallahassee at the regionals in an elimination game. And coming to the mound for Bethune-Cookman is the man who bleeds maroon and gold maybe more than anybody else, Yoancel Diaz.
Yeah, I think we knew we were going to see Yo-Yo win, loss, blowout. Didn't matter. Yo-Yo deserves this opportunity, a guy who's worked as hard as anybody up and down this lineup, giving him everything. You don't win the SWAC tournament without him. He's got a chance to really set you up to do something special if he can get through a clean one here.
The first pitch to Matt Brinker is a fastball strike outside corner. And it's 0-1. Brinker 0 for 3, ground out, and 2 flyouts on the day for the designated hitter for Northeastern. The 0-1. Breaking ball, little puncher into shallow left field coming on Darrell Lee. He dives, he makes the catch! Darrell Lee with a beauty!
Between that and the double to lead off the last inning, there may be no guy that plays with more energy on this BCU roster than Darrell Lee. That's one right there where it's a risky play, right? Because if you're missing that ball, then that one's rolling to the wall, and you're talking about 2, 3, and maybe more. But confident made that one look a lot easier than it was.
1 out. And here's Alex Lane, who's 0 for 3 with 2 ground outs and a pop out. Lane, first pitch strike, inside corner at 90 miles an hour. And Yoancel Diaz's potentially final appearance for Bethune-Cookman. Fastball strike, 0-2. And a guy who came in right before the COVID season. He was one of only 2 players on scholarship back in 2021. Swing and a miss! Strike 3 called outside corner, and Lane goes down 2 away. Along with the guy he's pitching to, Irvin Escobar. And it makes me emotional just thinking about it.
Unbelievable the contributions that the 2 of them have given to this program. Yoancel Diaz, man, is you talked to him before the game, you talked to him in the hallway, cool, calm, collected. Nice of a guy as it gets on this roster, man, and his upturn into what he has become and everything that he's given, even physically, to this program has been unbelievable.
First pitch, swing and a miss, curveball from Gregory Bazzo. Bazzo 0 for 3, popped out on the infield, struck out, grounded out. 2 away, top 9, tied at 2. Diaz trying to give the Cats a chance in the bottom of the 9th. Swing and a miss, another curveball, 0-2. 1 pitch away from a clean inning for Yo-Yo. The redshirt senior righty will wind and fire. In the air, left field deep. Back, track, wall, it's gone. Three to 2 Northeastern. Gregory Bozzo gives the Huskies the lead with his first home run of the season.
Well, it wouldn't be a Wildcats postseason game without a little bit of dramatics, wouldn't it? Just missed one there. Ansel Diaz, though, ready to get back onto that mound, ready to get right back to work. Yep, just hung a breaking ball right middle, didn't miss it. Just missed the spot.
105 off the bat to the deepest part of the park in left center, right over the retired numbers here at Mike Martin Field. And now it's Jack Doyle, who's 1 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Diaz deals. Swing and a live fly ball foul, left-hand side. Diaz has had some collapses. I mean, the one at the end of the regular season against Texas Southern where he came in with the lead and gave up 5 runs in an inning.
Even in that game, he never looked as strong as he started this inning.
He's been walked off twice on the mound this year, once by USF and once by Jacksonville. 1-1. Line drive towards short, fielded on a hop by Poyeto. 2 steps across, and he throws the ball away. The first true error of the game for the Wildcats puts Doyle at first with 2 outs, and now the top of the order comes up. And it's Poyeto again.
Yeah, really the first time he's had that kind of gaff since we've been up here in Tallahassee. He struggled with it a little bit at the end. I don't think we're going to see Coach Hernandez pull Yo-Yo here. The biggest thing with Yo-Yo at this point is, and even just talking to him throughout this week at the first couple practices before we head up here, Coach is going to put his hand on the back of his neck and talk him through it, is he is tired. Yoancel Diaz, his arm is at the end of the line. I mean, I talk about the physical toll that's been on him. The stuff that he has done, the fighting with trainers and doctors just to stay out on the field. Coach Hernandez, you talk about a guy who protects players from themselves a lot. And Yoancel Diaz is one, maybe more so than anybody else, that he's had to struggle with, right? Of even allowing him these opportunities with how much he's put on his arm. A guy that came back from injury to start this year, and a serious one at that. But Yo-Yo fights for his right to stay out there and believes he deserves this spot.
It's Ryan Garrity, 1 for 3 with a walk and a run scored back in the first. Doubled to lead off the game and came in on a sac fly. Throw back to first. Close play, but diving back in safely is Jack Doyle. 3 to 2 Northeastern. The first 2 Huskies in the 9th went quietly, and then Gregory Bozzo hit his first home run of the year to left center field off a hanging curveball. Check over to first again, sliding back in safely is Doyle. Then Doyle should have been the end of the inning, but another one of those ones that is hit right at Poyeto. He has time to think about it, and he throws it over the head of the first baseman Rodriguez. And a balk is going to put Doyle on second.
It's kind of the game you play when you're that conscious of the runners, especially with 2 outs, is just that one extra thing to worry about, get you off your game a little bit, results in a free bag there. You got to keep this to 1 if you want a shot.
Garrity hasn't seen a pitch yet. Now he will. Fastball inside, ball 1. Jack Doyle on second with 2 outs in the 9th, top of the inning. Fastball down Broadway, 1-1 from Yo-Yo. And I think maybe Yo-Yo used all his energy. Once that home run went over the wall, he kind of, his head went down a little bit, knowing that he might have cost his team a chance to keep their season alive. 1-1. High pop, left center. That's actually going to stay on the infield and be dropped. The wind blew it away from Andre Martinez. Coming in from second to score is Doyle, and it's 4-2 Huskies. The defense collapses behind Yoancel Diaz.
Not really sure what exactly happened. I think you're right. It must have just had to have been a late gust of wind because Martinez looked like he had it tracked all the way. Nobody else calling off for a better look at it. Yo-Yo clears out of the way, as you tend to do as a pitcher. That drops in fair. Really unfortunate.
Well, Martinez was tracking that in foul territory just outside the third base bag, and it almost landed near the pitcher's mound. First pitch, outside slider, ball one to Cam Maldonado, and now we're getting into the meat of this Husky order. Maldonado, Feinberg, Goodman has been the three best bats in the game for Northeastern. Inside, missed with the curve. 2-0 to Maldonado. Four to 2 Huskies in the ninth. 2 runs. After it was tied at 2, the Wildcats tied it in the 8th. But the Wildcats have stranded so many. Stranded 6, 4 of them in scoring position in the game. The 2-1 from Diaz to Maldonado. Line drive, left field, Lee tracks it and makes the catch. 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 left. And the Wildcats are 3 outs away from the end of a magical season. Come back for the bottom of the ninth here on the CatEye Radio Network and 1380 WELE. Back at the 2025 Tallahassee Baseball Regionals, part of the NCAA Baseball Championship. The Wildcats are down to their last 3 outs as we go to the bottom of the ninth, down 4-2 against the Northeastern Huskies. 2 runs against Yoancel Diaz in the top of the ninth, and the Wildcats have their backs to the wall once again, Bryce.
Well, been there, done that. Did it all week in Birmingham last week. And yeah, the competition might be ramped up. The stage is certainly ramped up. But let's not forget, this Wildcats team is playing with house money. This team has nothing to lose. They've played another great team competitive, a team that won 48 games. And you played them tough, start to finish on all sides of the ball. Don't rule out a rally. Don't rule out a chance to tie it or win this game. It's the way the Wildcats have lived all year long.
The new pitcher for Northeastern is Brett Dunham, the senior from North Andover, Massachusetts, his entire collegiate career with the Huskies. First pitch is a foul straight back by Irvin Escobar, who's 1 for 3. 2 flyouts, 1 to center, 1 to right, and a single in the 4th. Brett Dunham is 2-0 with 5 saves, as that was a fastball outside corner at 92, 0-2 on Escobar, with a 1.65 ERA and 27 innings pitched. The 0-2 on Escobar. The pitch, fouled straight back on a breaking ball. And Escobar stays alive, potentially the final at-bat in the distinguished career of Irvin Escobar here at Bethune-Cookman. 0-2. Outside corner. Ball one. Mazo framed it. Umpire didn't call it. Shane Cannon says that one didn't catch the plate, and it's 1-2. Outside again. On a fastball, 94. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Now that first one was close. That was about 2 inches further outside. Crowd's still a little aggravated by it, but if you called the first one, you got to call that one.
2-2. Inside, breaking ball, 3-2. I would certainly call Irvin Escobar one of the most disciplined hitters in Bethune-Cookman baseball history. 3-2. Ball 4. What an at-bat.
That's how it starts.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's pinch run for. Yeah, here comes a pinch runner for the Wildcats. It's going to be Pablo Torres?
That would certainly appear.
Whoa, okay.
Oh,
We're going with some funky decisions here, or is it just maybe Johnny giving a senior one more chance to see the field?
No, I think this is just who they believe their best shot is, right? Let's not forget, Yoancel Diaz was a pinch runner for his first part of his career. It's always risky, right, to do that.
Can you do some diving to see if he's ever done this before?
I'm going to tell you right off the top of the head the answer is no, but I'll give you the courtesy of looking.
Here's Michael Rodriguez. Pinch hitting in the DH spot for Jorge Gonzalez-Febo. His first time up, lined out to the first baseman. Slider upstairs above the letters ball 1. Pablo Torres pinch running for Irvin Escobar at first. Nobody out. Wildcats down 4-2 here in the 9th. Rodriguez checks his swing, pitch outside and high, 2-0.
Nice take from Rodriguez. I mean, you forget how hard it is to not get real in-game ABs, come back in, and the pressure like this against an arm like this.
And Rodriguez only a sophomore as well.
Not to mention the first time he came to the plate, he put some nice contact on it.
2-0. Fouled away. Put a good swing on it, just a little bit late. 2-1. The third baseman, Doyle, is expecting bunt, was playing all the way in on the grass. And I thought, well, down 2, you can't really try and squeeze one in. It doesn't do you much good. 2-1. Upstairs, 3-1. The pressure mounting on Brett Dunham out of the bullpen now for Northeastern. He may have that 1.65 ERA, but this is definitely the biggest spot he's been in his college career. The 3-ball, 1-strike pitch. Rodriguez fouls it off in on the hands, and it's 3-2. Interesting to give the green light on a 3-1. Now let's see what kind of put-away pitch that Dunham has. We've seen fastball, slider. I don't think we've seen a curve yet. And a changeup. The 3-2 Dunham to Rodriguez. Upstairs, ball 4.
Here we go. Here we go.
Torres walks to second. Rodriguez to first. And the batter is Sergio Rivera, and here comes the pitching coach for Northeastern.
Well, I never would have guaranteed you heading into this inning that the Wildcats were going to win this game, tie this game, even score a run. But one thing you could guarantee that they have done every year, every game, is make these competitive. Let's not forget all the way back in the midweek, really early on in the season when the Wildcats played Florida State, lost 9-7. They scored 3 of those runs in the 9th. They do not give up in these opportunities. We know what they did to FAMU a week ago. They do not quit. And while they still may not win this game, they still may not tie this game, you're making Northeastern really tight. Not a whole lot of activity going on in that bullpen currently, just some stretching.
Jamie Villafane is going to pinch run at first base for Michael Rodriguez, which is odd because Rodriguez is also one of your faster guys.
Villafane got out stealing in the SWAC championship game by quite a large margin, too.
Yep. One of these two teams' fantastic seasons is about to come to an end. Bethune-Cookman 37-22, Northeastern 48-10. It's 4-2 Huskies Bottom 9, 2 on, nobody out. The batter, Sergio Rivera, who's 0 for 3. A half-hearted throw back to second. 2 pinch runners on the base paths for the Wildcats. Pablo Torres, surprisingly, the relief pitcher at second. Jamie Villafane at first after 2 straight walks to open the inning by Brett Dunham. Rivera squares to bunt. Foul behind the plate. The Wildcats have not been great bunting in this postseason, neither at the SWAC tournament nor here at the regionals.
Well, Rivera is certainly the best bunter they have. Probably a pretty large margin, right? He's one of the only that does it consistently.
Third baseman Doyle is in. Rivera squares to bunt again. He pulls it back, ball 1 outside. Corner infielders well in for Northeastern, expecting Rivera to try and put this one down. Rivera squares to bunt, pulls it back, called a strike at the letters. Rivera not happy with it. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and now you got to attack, and here comes Coach Cartaya.
I'm certainly not hanging tight on the bunt here. It's happened a couple times this year where the Wildcats have stayed aggressive with the bunting mentality and bunted it foul with 2 strikes. You can't do that here. I think you got to let Sergio swing it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look at these 2 head coaches, right? Coach Hernandez took over the program right before COVID, had to deal with shutting the program down, rebuilding it from nothing to get all the way to where he's been at in 5.5 years. It's been remarkable. On the other side for Northeastern, Mike Glavin has dominated as the head coach of Northeastern, the 4-time CAA Coach of the Year. He's been the head coach at Northeastern since 2013. This is his 3rd NCAA appearance as the head coach of Northeastern, and it's easy to see why. A lot of the same things that made the Wildcats team great in the last couple years. Great pitching, great defense, a lot of resilience.
Yep.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Sergio Rivera. 2 on, nobody out. 4-2 Huskies here in the 9th. Rivera will square to bunt with 2 strikes. They throw back to second, and in is Torres. Sergio Rivera has been one of the more consistent bats down the stretch in his senior season, but he's 0 for 3 today. He's behind 1-2. The pitch from Dunham is bunted right back to Dunham. Off the mound, the throw to first, and the job is done. Moves the runners to second and third. Tying run on second.
I mean, an aggressive call, but I think you can kind of see what the meaning might have been about. Is as aggressive as the call is to bunt, it wasn't necessarily the most aggressive bunt, right? You didn't try to put it down the line, didn't try to put it in a spot where you can beat it out to the base hit. Just made sure it was put in play.
Here's Daniel Figueroa. Doubled in the 3rd, hit by a pitch and scored in the 5th, and struck out in the 7th. A base hit potentially ties this one up. With Torres on 3rd, Villafane on 2nd. Ground ball, first base side. That's going to be... Oh, bobbled! Oh. Everybody's safe! Lane bobbled it at first. Coming in from 3rd is Torres, and it's 4-3 with 1 out.
Well, what do we say all year long with this Wildcats team, with Coach Hernandez, right, is they make opponents pay for mistakes. That's a big one. It's not an easy play by any means, but it's a gotta-have-it play. A massive mistake there. Just kind of a little bit of putting the cart before the horse, trying to get the throw over. Ball kind of digs in the dirt a little bit, eats them up. And the Wildcats, man, are not going away.
Here's Darrell Lee, 1 out. Tying run 90 feet away, 4-3 in the 9th. A fly ball would do it against the closer for Northeastern, Brett Dunham. First pitch, righty to lefty. Swing and a miss, slider up and in. All the way down at 69 miles an hour. That was a crawler. And Lee was way out ahead of it. The tying run is Jamie Villafane, 90 feet away, the 0-1. Lee watches, throw down to second is not in time. The Wildcats don't attempt the double steal. Figueroa takes second.
That's
Villafañe
interesting.
stays on third.
Well, now you're talking about a ball in the outfield. You can find some grass, can win you a game.
The count is 0-2 on Lee. The pitch. Fouled away. Almost hit Coach Hernandez in the third base batter's box, or coach's box.
Didn't try to grab that one. Scorched right at him, duck and cover.
Once again, it's 0-2. 4-3 Huskies, one out in the ninth, second and third. The 0-2, Durham to Lee. Fouled away again, straight back. Remember who's on deck, it's Andre Martinez.
It's a ball on the outside he has to reach for, comes back in, one inside and low, manages to foul it off. Good defensive
For the
batting.
third time, we'll do the 0-2 to Darrell Lee. And Lee calls time and asks to talk to Coach Cartaya. And I think head coach Glavin for Northeastern says, hey, they're out of timeouts. But there wasn't a timeout. Lee just called for time, stepped out, stands back in. The 0-2. Outside, 1-2, waste a fastball, face high. It's got to be so bad if you're not going to swing and try and at least make contact in this situation.
Yep.
Lee fouls it away again to the third base side. That one was in on the hands of Slider. The marathon at bat goes on and on. Both batter and pitcher must feel like there's elephants sitting on their chest right now. The 1-2 again. Swing and a miss, strike three. Fastball away, Lee strikes out, and here we go again. Andre Martinez at the plate, 2 outs in the ninth, tying run on third, winning run on second. Martinez 2 for 4, ground out, strikeout in the first and third, RBI double in the fifth, and a single in the eighth.
It really did always have to come down to this, didn't it?
Yep.
Best on best.
Best on best. Here we go. Second and third, 2 outs, Wildcats down 4-3. Martinez, ground ball right back to the pitcher. Dunham underhands to first, and the Northeastern Huskies have survived. They win 4-3. Andre Martinez overly aggressive, swinging at the first pitch, just a little dribbler back to the mound. And the Bethune-Cookman baseball season comes to an end. They can't get a win here, man. This building has been a house of horrors for them. 0-13 all time. Have never won a game at a regional here in now 6 attempts. Not to say they didn't give it their best shot. They had chances yesterday against Florida State to make it a better game than it was. And man, if you talk about one swing of the bat away from potentially sending Northeastern home here this afternoon.
I mean, this is another one. It's unfortunate that now you have to play the what-if game, right? But how can you not? I mean, this one felt like it really did have the opportunity to not just be a win, but a win going away pretty good. I mean, you're talking about leaving a guaranteed 3, 4, 5 runs on the field today, on the base paths. Timely hitting just wasn't there again. And, you know, you gave it a run, and you did your job at the end of the day. What do we talk about is you come out here to represent the school well, to represent your program well, and to be competitive. And you did that and then some, right? You gave it to every team that faced you in this thing. And it comes down to one pitch there, one pitch here. I mean, one bad pitch from Yoancel Diaz, and this is a walk-off win. One better swing from Andre Martinez, one more pitch from Darrell Lee right there. It's a completely different thing. You have to play the what-if game. You really do. It's unfortunate, but what an incredible season. What an incredible run. What an incredible finish. I mean, it doesn't go your way. It doesn't always, and we knew this was going to be a hard hill to climb for these Wildcats, but, man, they gave us down to the last pitch one more time, just like they have all week. And really, we were one batter away from going down to the last pitch last night. I mean, it's been a fun week. It really has. I think these Wildcats show that there was no better team in the SWAC this year to represent the conference, right? You did it well. You pitched well. Your defense on the whole, today the errors on the board are a little bit unindicative, I think, of what you showed out there. because you were really excellent, I think, a lot of this week. You did what you were supposed to do. The Bats lag behind a little bit, but they faced an extra caliber of competition that you just hadn't been getting a lot of the year. And you take another year, you bring this core back, and with this much experience under their belt, both in the championship for the conference and then now here, you can really get something moving. It's unfounded territory, right, for the Wildcats. You're coming into this next year. You're not some kind of chippy upstart, dark horse in the conference, right? You're not coming up short. You're the ones to beat, right? And that's people are going to be gunning for you. That doesn't just stay in the conference either. That's midweek games. Everybody knows who you are now. Everybody knows what you can do, what you're capable of, even in this thing, right? You come out here and you're competitive, pitch in and pitch out, outstanding. I mean, people are going to be gunning for you. That goes all the way down to the Alcorn States and Mississippi Valleys, all the way up to FAMU. That's going to want their get back, and they're going to want to get back quickly. But we trust Coach Hernandez to get right back on that trail, right? It turns it around pretty quickly. Get back on the JUCO trail, bring up some guys to replace those going out. You're going to hit that compliance department really tough. Try to get some waivers for some guys that you really want to have back to keep that culture consistent. But we know as long as Coach Hernandez is at the helm, we're going to be right back in this spot next year. Maybe not quite at regionals, but you're going to be down to your last pitch with a chance to do something special year in and year out. What an unbelievable year.
And you got to talk about it, right? 37-23, 2 wins shy of the all-time program record, a first conference championship in the SWAC, a first conference championship since 2017, a first trip back to a regional since 2017. And I think Coach Hernandez, who is dedicated to this BCU program long-term, has them on track to once again be the dominant force in HBCU baseball, and maybe even the state of Florida and the Southeast that they once were in the 90s and 2000s and 2010s.
And make no mistake about it, Coach Hernandez is going to get some calls. If they haven't started already, he's going to get some calls if it's on the way back tonight, if it's over the next couple weeks as everybody's coaching scenario shifts out. People are going to be checking on him. But he's got family. He loves it in Daytona Beach. He loves this program, and I think he thinks that he can do something special here. I mean, he talks daily. He's a big records-oriented guy, right? And he'll tell you that a lot of it is about, just doing what you got to do on the field, coming home with that SWAC championship, winning these conference games, doing that whole thing. But he does concern himself with that stuff, and he truly looks at what's the all-time head coaching winning record? What's the all-time, like we talk about, the best winning record in a season for a program? He looks at all that stuff, and he truly believes he can do something special here. Our bat boy Jake may be the best reason to keep him here in Daytona, right? He's just getting ready to start getting up higher in school, and that's something that is very important, right? The Hernandez family loves Daytona Beach. They want to keep Jake in that kind of spot, right? Keep it consistent for him, keep it in something he's familiar with. With Coach Hernandez's daughter Caitlin now going off to Florida. They've got her up at college, and they'd really like to be able to do something similar for Jake, and they'd like to do it here. Now, if somebody makes Coach an offer he can't refuse, who are we to say, right? He's done an outstanding job here, but make no mistake, he loves this program. He thinks he can do something special here. He's already done something special here, and he hopes to just build something really incredible.
And you got to talk about the team, man. This year's team, we didn't think they were going to be that special. Remember the first couple weeks of the season, they started 1-8 and really turned it around, and some memorable moments, right? Up and down, this is the season that's going to live long, not just in my memory, not just in your memory, but the memory of the players, the staff, and all of the fans that have supported them throughout. I mean, from walking off Southern, which really gave us the first kind of glimpse about what kind of grit this program had early in conference play, to, getting that number 1 seed. It came down to the final day. You had to win on the final day of the regular season, get the number 1 seed, and then, of course, it pays off in the tournament. You're down to your last out. Andre Martinez with a moment that will last a lifetime for him to give the Wildcats a trip here to this regional. And he couldn't get over the hump and get that single-season home run record. He ties it at 20. I don't know. Him in the batter's box right at the end there, he would have wanted more for himself than just to ground out softly. But just speak on Andre Martinez's season and how much he has meant to this program.
One of the best hitters in program history. There's no doubt about that. One of the best power hitters, the best power hitter in program history, ties the record. A guy that always has a smile on his face, right? Plays loose, did whatever was asked for him, right? A guy that when you're that kind of force at the plate, there's a good part of, especially today's athlete, right, where you've got that little bit of sense of entitlement sometimes and say, hey, I'm an outfielder, or hey, I'm DHing. I'm not doing what, but no, he did whatever he was asked for. We've seen him at first, we've seen him at third, we've seen him at DH, we've seen him in the outfield. Andre Martinez would do whatever was asked for him. whatever was asked for him, and that's a huge part of what makes him great. A guy that's bought into the culture here, and I think as much as, again, you talk about that portal, he's top guy that you sit down as soon as you get your first exit meeting in and you try to re-recruit him, right? You got to re-recruit that guy. But Coach Hernandez has expressed that he thinks that it's a guy that's bought into the culture here. It speaks to that overarching thing. And as we watch some of these seniors go out the door, he's another one in Andre Martinez that I know can help keep that culture consistent. And it's a part of the reason that he may end up staying here.
Speaking of those seniors, man, this is the part of the last broadcast of the year that's always gets hard, is talking about the guys that aren't coming back. And, with the college landscape how it is, you may find some eligibility somewhere. We may see some of these guys again. But talk about Tanner Bocabello, Daniel Figueroa, Marcos Gamboa, Sebastian Garrido, Sergio Rivera, Jorge Rodriguez, Aaron Schaefer, Manny Sufrain, Peter Vasquez, Jamie Villafañe, and you can't talk about this team without talking about Yoancel Diaz and Irvin Escobar. A group of seniors that finally got over the hump, finally won a SWAC championship, both regular season and tournament. A lot of them have been here their entire college career, and to see the joy on their faces when they finally got it done last week made my year.
Absolutely, and they are not only a testament to their work and what they've done and what they deserve, but also you go back to years past, and I know you said it in your final call just last week at the SWAC championship game, It's the guys like Garrett Chun, it's the guys like Colton Olison, it's the guys like even Nolan Santos, guys who felt like they came so close, but they put a piece of them into guys like that, into Irvin Escobar, into Yoancel Diaz, Sergio Rivera, Daniel Figueroa, go down the list. And a piece of that carries forward, and it's all about building something, right? I think each of those guys, not to mention the ones that depart now with their hardware, with the ring, with the SWAC title, the guys that came before can say that they had a piece in their lives, that they had a piece in this championship and about building something. And those guys built something. They built the trophy, right? They built that championship season. They put it all together. You found the right formula. We know at this level nowadays, a lot of it is lightning in a bottle, right? You got to pick that right, concurrent group that comes together in some sort of special way. But this program is unique in the SWAC in that they've really felt like one of the more consistent ones, right? We see the turnover year after year, and yeah, sure, some programs have stayed consistent, and we give them all the credit in the world, your Bama State, your Florida A&Ms. But this Wildcats team has felt a tick different, right? It's not just consistency in the lineup, but it's consistency in the play style and the coaching and the mentality that one thing about these groups, and it's, again, a big part, is Yoancel Diaz, is Irvin Escobar, is all these guys, is they've always been a group that cares about each other and that doesn't want to leave each other, right? They're hanging out after games. They're hanging out after practices. Coach can't keep them away from each other half the time. They've always been that. The culture has been really great to watch, really great to be a part of. They care about even us upstairs, right? They're always saying what's up. They're always appreciating what we do. It really is. It's a special group. It's hate to see them go, but we know that just like the classes before them, they leave a piece of their legacy, of their culture in that locker room. They leave it behind and make the program better, leaving out the door.
Once again, the Wildcats end their season at 37-23 after falling to Northeastern 4-3. Northeastern 4 runs, 7 hits, 1 error, 7 left. Bethune-Cookman 3 runs, 7 hits, 4 errors, 3 of them on failed pickoffs, and 8 left on base. The winning pitcher is Charlie Walker. His record now 4-0. The losing pitcher is Yoancel Diaz, who unfortunately has to walk off the mound for the last time, giving up that go-ahead home run in the top. And, man, you play the what-if game. If Cheetah Poyeto makes that last out, we're talking about going to the 10th inning instead of making an error, and then we're down here in the 9th.
Yep. I mean, it's what it's all about, right? It's a game of baseball. It comes down to one swing here, one swing there. You can point to about 15 of them in the last 2 games that the Wildcats can say, well, if that went this way, if that went that way. But the key is, like we said coming in, is you had everything to gain and nothing to lose. You represented yourself as great as you could, and you come back to Daytona Beach with the trophy on Coach's desk, with the rings on the way, and you can think about all the outstanding times. This is one of them, right? You made memories for yourself, for your teammates, for the program, for everybody around it, for the fans out there that have watched us cover it all year long. We appreciate that support. There's nothing to hang your heads on today.
One of the shorter ball games of the year. Time of the ball game just 2 hours and 4 minutes as the pitchers were dealing here today. Edwin Sanchez, of course, brilliant again. Gave the Wildcats a chance to come back and tie the game and have a shot late in the game. And we gotta get off the air so we can get on the road and get home tonight because I'd like to sleep in my own bed. But the last thing, obviously, we have to say is a thank you to all the people that make the CatEye Network possible, because without those people, we don't get to do this. I don't get to do this. To travel around, to bring you these games is the joy of my life to cover Bethune-Cookman sports. Reggie Theus, athletic director, Scott Summer and George Bright, associate athletic directors, put us in the position financially, support-wise, to be able to do this. The other people in the office, Autumn Sander, social media, Brian Harvey, SID, the CatEye Network students who have worked with us all year long. I mean, Lee Gillum, Henson White last year, Sabrina Petit-Holm during basketball season, even Vicky Cimetti, who stepped away from the volleyball team and joined us on the creative side this year, and everybody else that I did not have time to name that helped us along the way, with running cameras at basketball or baseball, or helping us out with graphics or pictures and videos at football and everywhere else. Thank you so much. You are what make the CatEye Network tick, and we hope those of you that are not graduating are going to come back next year and help us again. Bryce, I got to thank you, as always, for being my partner here with baseball and for putting me in a position to be able to do this. Thank you so much. Another year comes to an end working for the best media department of the SWAC.
We love telling the story of Bethune-Cookman, man. It's a place that deserves it. A historical university, a historic success on and off the field of play. My hope going forward, obviously, as we say thank you to everybody who supported us this far, is that this is now a building block. You've got your one, right? Yes, we give all the credit in the world to a SWAC cross-country championship a couple years ago. I don't want to diminish what that meant. But this one feels a little bit different, right? You watch the whole conference. Everybody, all eyes on you. You had your moment. You had your hardware. You bring it home. You hope it can be a jumping off point, right? We hope to be having conversations like this in events like this more often, a couple times a year. Again, in this spot next year, right? It starts with football. We got volleyball coming back in a couple months. That's when we'll see you next. And then on down the line from there, it's an exciting time to be a Wildcat. And we hope on doing this far into the future and getting better, right? Doing it better than we did it this year. We hope to do it again next year, and that goes apart to everybody who supported us along the way.
That'll do it for us. The Wildcats fall 4-3 here in the second game of the Tallahassee Regional. They end their season at 37 wins and 23 losses with a SWAC regular season and tournament championship on the way. For Bryce Wojnowski, who's been with me every step of the way, my name is Michael Torello. I am proud to be the voice of the Wildcats, and we will see you again in August with volleyball and football as the sports calendar turns over. It's time for some well-deserved R&R for those of us here in Sports Information at BCU. We'll see you next year. Thank you so much for watching today, this week, all season, and all year long. We'll holler at you in a couple months. And as always, hail Wildcats.